Chapter 498. Sea Kong Demon Island fell into a strange atmosphere. Each and every one of the cultivators on the island had their memories erased by Ning Fan. All of them fell into a coma. Even the high priest was not spared. The little girl Ming Kei absorbed Seedsong's mixed memories bit by bit, trying her best not to let her personality be erased. Her expression became more dignified and indifferent. It was even more noble and cold than Su Yen, who was once the clan leader of the Misthorn clan. That was the dignity that belonged to Princess Seedsong. Along with the mixed memories, Ming Kei digested them one by one. As her stomach growled, Ming Kei finally opened her eyes. Her eyes were still a little blurry, as if she had just woken up from a long dream. However, they suddenly turned cold. Ning Fan was actually a little nervous. Even if he were to face thousands of soldiers and horses, he would not blink his eyes. However, when he saw Ming Kei's cold and somewhat unfamiliar eyes, his heart tightened. It was very easy to change one's personality when another set of memories suddenly appeared in one's head. That cold and arrogant gaze definitely did not belong to Ming Quebec. It belonged to Princess Seedsong. Ming Kei was Seedsong's reincarnation. Could it be that her personality had changed greatly after receiving her inheritance? Just as Ning Fan wanted to ask about her condition, he saw her jump out of the blood pond and run down the altar with a sad face. Then she ran to Ning Fan pitifully. The coldness in her eyes had already disappeared. What replaced it was the same cute expression as before. "Hungry, Brother Biscuit, I'm hungry." The little girl who was wearing a golden crown wore a dejected expression. In order to receive the inheritance, she had used up all of her strength. Now, she was so hungry that she could eat 100 pieces of pill biscuits. When Ning Fan heard that Ming Kei's tone was still the same as before, he did not ask any more questions. She was still herself. She was still so gluttonous. Ning Fan, of course, would not let Ming Kei go hungry. He took out many Fifth Revolution pills and gave them to her like beans. No matter what kind of medicine they were, all of them would turn into energy to improve her cultivation base in her stomach. After finishing 3 bottles of Fifth Revolution pills, Ming Kei let out a cute burp and giggled. "I'm full." Su Yen was speechless. Ming Kei was probably the only person in the Rain world who could eat Fifth Revolution pills like beans. Ordinary cultivators could not digest the medicinal power of so many pills at all. Besides, Ning Fan was probably the only one who would be willing to give a Fifth Revolution pill to Bright Sparrow so casually. After eating and drinking to her heart's content, Bright Sparrow finally noticed that all the demon cultivators on the island had been defeated. She was slightly surprised. However, when she found out that it was Ning Fan's doing, she no longer cared about it. As long as Ning Fan is willing, she would not have any objection even if he wants to sink Sea Kong Demon Island. Then she told Ning Fan everything about the inherited memories that she had obtained. Princess Seedsong was born in ancient times and was once the princess of the immemorial Dark Sparrow clan. Later on, due to a disagreement with an elder in the clan, she left the Dark Sparrow clan and died mysteriously. As for why he died, there was no memory left behind. As for all the information regarding ancient fae and spirits, none of it had been passed down. It was a great pity. From Seedsong's memories, Bright Sparrow had obtained many demonic techniques and demonic arts of the Dark Sparrow race. She had also obtained many cultivation insights left behind by Seedsong when he was alive. At this moment, Ming Kei possessed the physique of a pill devil. She also possessed a king-level demonic blood and had inherited Seedsong's cultivation experience. Her future would be extraordinary. He wouldn't dare to say anything above the 4 heavens, but below the 4 heavens, no one's cultivation speed could compare to Bright Sparrow's. Even if it was Ning Fan, he wouldn't be able to match Bright Sparrow's cultivation speed if he were to stay in the sect and cultivate methodically. Of course, Ning Fan's cultivation was carried out in battles. The strength that was honed through life and death situations was not something that Ming Kei could compare with. In just half a day's time, Ming Kei had already broken through from the mid-divine transformation realm to the half-step void refinement realm with the help of the power of the inheritance. If this matter were to spread out, countless old monsters would be envious of her. Ning Fan recalled his own path of cultivation. From the mid-divine transformation realm to the half-step void refinement realm, it could be said that there were endless battles and he had put in a lot of effort. As for Ming Ke, she managed to break through to the half-step void refinement realm so easily. If this little girl is given a good cultivation environment, her future will be limitless. Ning Fan pondered. Bright Sparrow had just received the inheritance and was exhausted. After eating and drinking to her heart's content, she went to sleep. Su Yen accompanied Bright Sparrow to rest. Since Bright Sparrow's cultivation base had yet to stabilize, she had to protect her a little. As for Ning Fan, he used a magic technique to wake up the cultivators of the Demon Island one by one. If they were allowed to remain unconscious like this, no one knew how long they would remain unconscious for. When the cultivators of the Demon Island woke up, all of them had lost their memories. All of them found it strange. Many of them remembered that the Island Lord had successfully obtained the 9 inheritances. However, they could not remember what happened after that. Anyone with a discerning eye could guess that the one who erased their memories was Ning Fan. On this Si Kong Demon Island, Ning Fan was the only one who had the ability to erase the memories of cultivators as he wished. Old Man Chu and the other priests vaguely guessed that something must have happened after the inheritance ended. That was why Ning Fan erased everyone's memories to prevent them from knowing the truth. At that moment, no one dared to ask what exactly happened after that. No one asked why their memories were erased. Night fell. The entire Si Kong Demon Island was decorated with lanterns and colored banners to celebrate the success of the Island Lord's inheritance. Ming Ke, of course, did not attend the celebration. She was still sleeping. She was really too tired. Su Yen, who was guarding her, also did not attend the celebration. Under the princess statue, the cultivators of the Demon Island covered the sky and sat on the ground. They held a grand banquet. They slaughtered countless animals as sacrifices and offered countless spiritual fruits and spiritual wine. They built countless tall wooden racks and lit bonfires. Under the night sky, rows of beautiful female cultivators of the Demon Island danced gracefully. Many of them were trying to please Ning Fan. I heard that revered Ming cultivates a dual cultivation devil technique. My Si Kong Demon Island might not have anything else, but we do have many beautiful female demons. If revered Ming takes a liking to any of them, you can marry them as your concubines. It's their honor. Old Man Chu burst into laughter. Many experts of the Demon Island repeatedly toasted Ning Fan. You must be joking, Priest Chu. Ning Fan took a sip of the spiritual wine and shook his head with a faint smile. The female cultivators of Si Kong Demon Island were all Ming Ke's loyal servants. Ning Fan would not go to the extent of capturing human cauldrons here. This wine was a unique demon wine of Si Kong Demon Island. It was called Missing Sparrow. It tasted slightly spicy when it entered the throat. However, when it entered the stomach, it would become dense and warm, gradually filling one's stomach with longing. The Missing Sparrow wine had been passed down for countless generations on the Demon Island. That sparrow was the immemorial Dark Sparrow. This wine contained the longing of generations of cultivators of the Demon Island for Seedsong. Ning Fan was immersed in this atmosphere. His heart suddenly calmed down and he drank a mouthful of the Missing Sparrow wine. Cultivators have no home, but Si Kong Island is Ming Ke's other home. They were a group of loyal servants. Seedsong had been dead for countless years. Si Kong Demon Island had also been passed down for countless generations. The immemorial Dark Sparrow clan had long forgotten that there was still a small force in the lower world which once belonged to the Dark Sparrow clan. However, these cultivators of the Demon Island were still waiting for Seedsong's return with unwavering loyalty. Even though the members of the immemorial Dark Sparrow clan had forgotten Seedsong's name, the cultivators of the Demon Island were still waiting for their master's return. Even if time had erased their memories, the only thing that remained unchanged was the longing that was passed down from generation to generation. All of their longing was engraved on the statues, brewed in the spiritual wine and integrated into their kowtows. They were sincerely waiting for their master's return. That kind of waiting had nothing to do with life and death. Whether Seedsong was still alive or not, they would continue to wait. Cultivators had no home. Sex, forces and clans could not be considered as a cultivator's home because in these places, cultivators still had to spare no effort in scheming against each other. They could never avoid conflicts. Sects, forces and clans are not a cultivator's home. Just like how the Great Void Sect is not Suchio's home, just like how the Giant Devil Clan is not Shuian's home, and just like how this place is not my home. Only a place that can make one's heart feel at peace is the home of a weapon cultivator. Miss Sparrow, Miss Sparrow. The cultivators of the Demon Island miss Dark Sparrow Princess, but I also miss Sinister Sparrow, U Country, and 7 Apricot City. To me, 7 Apricot City is my home, Gusa City is my home, and the 9 divisions of the Lu clan are also my home. It turns out that I also have a home. Home! Ning Fan's eyes became a little hazy from being drunk. He carried the wine alone and walked into the dense bamboo forest of the Demon Island. The sea of bamboo was boundless. The towering bamboo forest seemed to be able to cover the night sky, but it could not cover Ning Fan's nostalgic eyes. He was not drunk from the wine but his heart. If his heart was drunk, he would also be drunk. In his hazy state, he seemed to see his younger self who cultivated painstakingly in order to break through to the Gold Core realm. In his hazy state, he seemed to see his past when he was a mortal and the past when he was in Hai Ning of Wu Country. He seemed to see his past and his next life. He seemed to see Ning Gu being framed. He seemed to see the old hair on the temples of the old devil. His heart felt a little sour. He seemed to see the struggle of the sea of blood. He felt a little tired after killing so many people. He seemed to see the butterflies in his previous life rushing towards immortal Emperor Zhang Qing with unwillingness and determination. He could not stop. He could not stop. Even though his cultivation base had reached this level, he still could not enjoy a moment of peace. He still had a long way to go on this path. In the life of a cultivator, I have experienced countless slaughters and the wind and rain. Life and death are up to the heavens. I am only drunk today, Ning Fan muttered to himself. When the night wind blew, accompanied by the fragrance of bamboo leaves, he gradually felt dizzy and tired. It was already late at night. He glanced sideways and suddenly saw Su Yen at the end of the bamboo forest. She was leaning against a bamboo and looking at him quietly. Is this the real you? You look so tired. Su Yan's eyes were filled with pity. It turned out that Ning Fan, who had a shocking devil reputation, was just an ordinary person. It turned out that behind the glory, there was also loneliness and desolation. I am me. Ning Fan slowly closed his eyes and fell into a deep sleep under a gigantic bamboo. With Su Yen around, he could probably rest for a while. The drunkenness lasted for a day and a night. When Ning Fan woke up, he found himself lying in the guest house. Su Yen and Ming Kei were waiting for him in the room. Su Yen did not mention anything about the drunkenness. She just behaved as usual. Ming Kei, on the other hand, was chattering nonstop. She found it unbelievable. She did not believe that an expert like Ning Fan would also get drunk. After staying for a few days, Ning Fan left some pills, magic treasures and cultivation notes for the demon cultivators of Si Kong Demon Island. Since this demon island was so loyal to Ming Kei, he naturally had to take care of them. Ming Kei, on the other hand, left all the divine transformation realm slaves she captured in the internal sea to Si Kong Demon Island. She also left many cultivation methods of the Dark Sparrow clan which greatly improved the overall strength of the demon island. Since Ning Fan was going to leave Si Kong Island, Ming Kei naturally had to go with him. Even though the cultivators of the demon island were reluctant to let her leave, they could not stop her from leaving. Fortunately, the cultivators all knew how strong Ning Fan was. They understood that the island lord would not be in any danger if she stayed by his side. Su Yen summoned the silver boat with a horned dragon while Ning Fan sent a message-transmitting flying sword in the direction of the Pill Island. Ming Kei was happily eating the 5th revolution pills that Ning Fan had given her. The 3 of them then boarded the boat. The 12 silver-scaled flood dragons roared loudly and pulled the silver boat, disappearing into the sky in an instant. At this moment, all the cultivators on the demon island knelt in front of the silver boat. Some of the older demon cultivators looked at Ming Kei, who had gone far away with tears flowing down their cheeks. They felt extremely sad. Some young and beautiful female cultivators were reminiscing about a white-robed young man and sighed. Among the crowd, a dark-skinned young man raised his head and looked at the direction where Ning Fan had left. His eyes were filled with passion and he clenched his fists tightly. One day, I will be like revered Ming and become a void refinement realm cultivator whose name shakes the world. The demon slave Lin Yu made up his mind. The silver boat flew all the way to the Pill Island. Before Ning Fan left the demon island, he sent a message-transmitting flying sword in the direction of the Pill Island. Of course, it was to inform his cheap disciple, Yang Gu, that he was going to the Pill Island to borrow the soul-washing pond. Ning Fan was a foreign elder of the Pill Island and he had done a great favor for the island. Previously, if it wasn't for Ning Fan taking care of the Pill Island, they might not have been able to bring back that void inquiry pill. With such a favor, no one would naturally stop Ning Fan from borrowing the soul-washing pond. The reason why he had informed them in advance was because he was worried that there would be a lot of matters to take care of when borrowing the soul-washing pond. Thus, he asked the cultivators of the Pill Island to prepare in advance. As soon as she heard that they were going to the Pill Island, the one who was the most excited was naturally Ming Quebec. In her dictionary, the Pill Island was better known as the Biscuit Island than the Pill Island. It was a dreamy paradise that was like a candy house. As long as she arrives at the Pill Island, she would be able to eat her fill. She must hurry to the Pill Island. She could not wait any longer. With the speed of the silver boat, it only took them 4 days to travel from Kong Island to the Pill Island. When they were only a few million li away from the Pill Island, Ming Ke could already see the silhouette of an island in the distance where the sea and the sky connected. It was the Pill Island. She immediately swallowed her saliva and leaped off the silver boat. Suddenly, a pair of snow-white wings made of ice needles appeared on her back. Then, she flew towards the Pill Island at a speed faster than the silver boat. Her action slightly surprised Su Yen and Ning Fan. The speed of the silver boat that was being pulled by 12 silver-scaled horn dragons was already infinitely close to the Void Pier stage. However, Ming Ke's speed was even faster than the silver boat. It undoubtedly meant that this little girl's speed had already reached the Void Pier stage. Her speed was not much slower than Ning Fan's 8 black burning wings. Those wings? Are they the demon wings of the Dark Sparrow clan? Ning Fan looked at Ming Ke's back and muttered to himself. However, he did not stop her. Ming Ke's cultivation base was already at the half-step void refinement realm. Her speed was even more heaven-defying. After obtaining Seed Song's inheritance, her combat power would probably be extraordinary. Perhaps she could even beat up an ordinary Void Glimpse stage-old monster. Since she wants to go to the Pill Island first, I'll just let her go. After all, her safety will not be a problem. Besides, even though Ming Ke was innocent, she was not stupid. On the contrary, she was very smart. Even if she wants to eat all the pills on the Pill Island, she would not openly snatch them. At most, she would just want to get to the Pill Island as soon as possible and be excited about it. Ming Ke's traveling light was extremely fast. After a few flashes, they could no longer see her. Following the direction of Ming Ke's traveling light, the silver boat gradually approached the Pill Island. Before they even got close to the Pill Island, Ning Fan could already feel the collision of vast magic power coming from the island. Looking from afar, a young lady wearing a golden crown was confronting a black-robed old man who was wearing a rigid expression. Ming Ke was a half-step void refinement realm expert. That old man was actually also a half-step void refinement realm expert. Ming Ke's techniques were not weak, but that old man also had some capabilities. Soul transforming dragon technique. The old man patted the top of his head. A wave of black medicine soul power turned into a gigantic black dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws at Ming Quebec. This gigantic black dragon had the strength comparable to a Void Glimpse stage expert. Possessing a black medicine soul meant that this old man was a 6th revolution pill refinement master. As for transforming one's medicine soul into a dragon, it was a kind of profound medicine soul attack technique. The old man's strength was a little strong, but Ming Ke was even stronger. She performed a hand seal and a trace of spirit sense that was as cold as ice spread out from her sea of consciousness. All of a sudden, 10,000 li of the area was frozen. Ice sense. This ability was actually the ice-cold spirit sense that was released after one's sea of consciousness had turned into the form of ice. Ning Fan was slightly surprised. After Ming Ke received Si Tsong's inheritance, she had gained a lot of incredible abilities. First was her Void Pierce stage speed. Now, she had her ice-cold spirit sense. I wonder how many more trump cards this little girl has. As soon as the ice sense dispersed, the black dragon immediately shuddered. Its eyes widened in shock and it wanted to retreat without any hesitation. When the old man saw that the black dragon was no match for the ice sense, he hurriedly withdrew the power of his medicine soul and used it to protect his body. Then he jumped out of the battle and waved his hand. I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to fight anymore. Where did you come from, little girl? How could you be so powerful? I'm not a match for you. You've admitted defeat? Bright Sparrow smiled complacently and withdrew her ice perception. She didn't hurt the old man and continued, since you've admitted defeat, you'll have to follow our agreement and let me enter the Biscuit Island. Biscuit Island? Cough, cough, cough. This name is really new. All right, you can enter the Pill Island now. However, there will be a guest visiting my Pill Island in the next few days. That person is very powerful. Even if you enter the island, you must not provoke him, lest you attract trouble. The old man nodded helplessly. He was no match for Bright Sparrow, so he had no choice but to agree to her request to enter the island. TSK, what kind of guest is this? Can he be more powerful than my brother Biscuit? Bright Sparrow curled her lips. She did not know that the guest the old man was referring to was her brother Biscuit. However, this meant that the sparrow had summoned its demon wings and was traveling at an extremely fast speed. It did not take long before it arrived at the Pill Island. She did not restrain her aura force. Her half-step void refinement realm aura force had shocked countless cultivators. Many of them were guessing when a half-step void refinement realm expert like her had appeared in the internal sea. The cultivators of the Pill Island were preparing for the opening of the soul-cleansing pond. They were afraid that Ming Ke might be their enemy, so they naturally did not dare to let her enter the island. This old man had come forward to dissuade Bright Sparrow from entering the island. Both of them agreed to have a competition. Unless Bright Sparrow wins, she is not allowed to enter the island. Now that Bright Sparrow had won, she could naturally enter the Pill Island whenever she wants. Only after the old man and Bright Sparrow had reached an agreement did he notice that another silver boat was approaching the Pill Island. The person standing on the silver boat was none other than Ning Fan, who was about to borrow the soul-washing pond. Brother Biscuit, this old man has already been beaten into submission by me. We can now enter the Biscuit Island whenever we want. Bright Sparrow happily returned to the silver boat and rubbed her small face against Ning Fan's chest. Many cultivators of the Pill Island, including the old man, were surprised. They were so surprised that they forgot to welcome Ning Fan into the island. They were somewhat confused about the situation. That young lady with a golden crown who was clamoring to enter the Pill Island just now was actually Ning Fan's younger sister? In that case, the competition between the old man and Bright Sparrow just now was just a misunderstanding? The old man moved slightly closer to Ning Fan and looked at him. He could feel the chi that Ning Fan was faintly emitting. It was actually not something that he could resist. His eyes immediately widened in surprise. Then he cupped his fists and said politely, "Are you venerated Ming? Are you venerated Pill?" Ning Fan did not answer the old man's question but asked him a question instead. The corner of his lips curled upwards. He had already seen through the old man's identity. This old man was none other than the island lord of the Pill Island, a 6th Revolution Pill refinement master who had just returned from traveling around the world, venerated Pill. Chapter 499. The old man was none other than the master of Pill Island, venerated Pill. The elderly man did not find it strange that Ning Fan had seen through his identity. The number of 6th Revolution Pill refinement masters in Rain World could be counted with one's fingers. After he revealed his 6th Revolution medicine soul, it was not strange for them to guess his identity. Even though venerated Pill had just returned from his travels, He had heard of Ning Fan's name in many places in the Rain World. Now that he saw Ning Fan in person, Venerated Pill finally felt that seeing him for himself was better than hearing about him 100 times. As a 6th Revolution Pill Master, Venerated Dan could be considered as a famous figure in the Rain World. Even though he had yet to break through to the Void Refinement Realm, his status was more respected than many Void Refinement Realm experts in the Rain World. Moreover, because he had traveled around the world, his experience was far greater than that of ordinary people. He could be considered as having seen many Void Refinement Realm experts in the Rain World. However, after sensing Ning Fan's powerful chi, he was still filled with emotions. Among all the Void Refinement Realm experts he knew, there was actually no Void Glimpse stage or Void Inquiry stage old monsters whose chi was stronger than his. When he looked behind Ning Fan again, he saw that Su Yen had already kept the silver boat and the 12-horned dragon. She was standing there like a timid and helpless little bird. This made Venerated Pill even more emotional. In the entire Rain World, Su Yen was a Void Inquiry stage expert who had a great reputation. However, she chose to follow Ning Fan. The moment I returned to the Pill Island, I received a rumor saying that the Venerable One suppressed the Mist Horn Devil clan with his own strength. Initially, I didn't believe it. Now, it seems like Revered Ming's means are so powerful that I'm afraid you are already unrivaled among Void Inquiry stage experts. This old man admires you. Venerated Pill looked at Bright Sparrow and recalled the previous misunderstanding. Then, he said sincerely, "My Taoist title is Dan Songzi, and I am a good friend of Dong Su. After this old man returned, I've already heard Yang Gu and the others talk about your deeds. Fellow Taoist has done the Pill Island a favor, and you're also a foreign elder of the Pill Island. If you wish to borrow the soul cleansing pond, I have no objections. I'll do my best to help you." Previously, this old man didn't know that this little girl was fellow Taoist person, so there was some misunderstanding. I hope fellow Taoist is magnanimous enough to forgive me if I have offended you. As a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master, Venerated Dan was a Void Refinement Realm expert of the Rain World. It was not inappropriate for him to address Ning Fan as fellow Taoist. Senior Dan is too polite. I've seen all the misunderstandings from before. Senior and Bright Sparrow are only having a fair competition, and you should stop when you go too far. Let's drop this matter and not mention it again. The reason why Ning Fan addressed Venerated Pill as senior was not only because Venerated Pill Refinement Realm was at the 6th Revolution, but also because Venerated Pill had some friendly relations with the Pill Sovereign according to rumors. In terms of the Tao of Pills, Venerated Pill's Pill Refinement Mastery and seniority were higher than Ning Fan's. Thus, there was no harm in treating him as a senior. Venerated Pill was taken aback at first. Then he shook his head and laughed. "There's no need for you to address me as your senior. Just like you and Dong Su, you can treat each other as equals. My Pill Refinement Mastery has reached the low-grade 6th Revolution, and I am ranked 7th in the Rain Immortal World. It is said that your Pill Refinement Mastery is at the peak of the 5th Revolution, and you are even given the title of the 8th Pill Refinement Master in the Rain Immortal World. This time, you are here to borrow the Soul Washing Pond. You might have a chance to break through to the 6th Revolution in one go. You don't have to address me as senior. It is extremely difficult to advance my Pill Refinement Mastery to the 6th Revolution. I don't have much confidence in breaking through to the 6th Revolution in one go. However, since Senior insists on treating me as an equal, I will be so bold as to address Senior as fellow Taoist. Fellow Taoist Dan, may I ask if the Soul Cleansing Pond is ready and when can I enter it? The Soul Cleansing Pond has already been unsealed to the 4th level. In another 10 days, it will reach the 6th level. Fellow Taoist will have to wait for at least another 10 days before you can enter the pond. Venerated Pill explained. The 4th level? The 6th level? Ning Fan did not know much about the Soul Cleansing Pond. Thus, he did not know that there were different levels in the pond. It's my negligence. Fellow Taoist, please take a look at this jade slip. It contains a detailed introduction about the Soul Cleansing Pond. Venerated Pill took out a jade slip and passed it to Ning Fan. Ning Fan scanned the jade slip with his spirit sense and imprinted the information within it into his mind. The soul cleansing pond of the Pill Island possessed a special power that could nourish the medicine soul of a pill refinement master. It was called Soul Bathing Light. The strength of the soul bathing light varied according to the depth of the pond. The Pill Island had set up seals within the pond and divided it into 7 levels. In the first level, the soul bathing light was the weakest. It was usually used by peak 4th Revolution pill refinement masters to break through to the 5th Revolution. The second level could improve the medicine soul of a low-grade 5th Revolution pill refinement master. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th levels were prepared for mid-grade, high-grade, and peak-grade 5th Revolution pill refinement masters to temper their medicine soul. If he wanted to break through to the 6th Revolution pill refinement realm, it would be best for him to enter the 6th level to temper his medicine soul. The 7th level was the deepest part of the soul washing pool. The soul bathing light there was terrifyingly powerful. Normally, only mid-6th Revolution pill refinement masters could withstand this level of soul bathing light. Even venerated Pill himself did not dare to temper his medicine soul on the 7th level. I see. Ning Fan returned the jade slip to venerated Pill and remained silent for a while. Now that the 4th level of the soul washing pool had been unsealed, a 5th Revolution high-grade pill refinement master could enter and cultivate there. However, the 4th level of the soul bathing light did not have much of an effect on his medicine soul. In order to improve the level of his medicine soul with the help of the soul bathing light in the soul washing pond, Ning Fan had to at least enter the 5th level. If he wanted to break through to the 6th Revolution in one go, then entering the 6th level was the best choice. Considering that only true 6th Revolution pill refinement masters could enter the 6th floor, Ning Fan probably needed to prepare some pills to protect his body before he could enter the 6th floor with his current medicine soul. It seems like I will have to stay on the Pill Island for 10 days. Ning Fan said. Fellow Taoist is a guest elder of my Pill Island after all. Just relax and stay on the island for 10 days. I will ask Huang Tingzi, Yang Gu and the others to prepare some pills and spiritual equipment for fellow Taoists to use to protect yourself when you enter the 6th level of the soul washing pond. During the days when fellow Taoist stays on the Pill Island, you can enter any library of the island and read any ancient records of pill recipes at will. If you have a pill recipe that you like, you can just make a copy of it. No one will stop you. Besides that, if fellow Taoist wants to know more about your experience in breaking through to the 6th Revolution pill refinement realm, you can come and look for me at any time. I certainly won't hide anything from you. Venerated Pill's tone was extremely easygoing. It was as if he had tacitly allowed Ning Fan to do anything on the Pill Island. However, Venerated Pill seemed to have thought of something. His eyes were filled with eagerness. I would like to exchange pointers on my medicine soul combat techniques with fellow Taoist. I wonder if fellow Taoist is willing to do so? Exchange pointers? Ning Fan was slightly surprised. That's right. Fellow Taoist should have seen the soul transforming dragon technique that I displayed just now. This technique is a battle soul technique that I obtained from the ruins of an ancient cultivator. Now, I have reached a bottleneck in my cultivation of this technique and I need to exchange pointers with someone else in order to break through the bottleneck. I heard that you have learned the Pill Sovereign's battle soul technique. That's why I want to exchange pointers with you. Of course, I won't go overboard. Of course, if fellow Taoist is unwilling to exchange pointers, I won't force you. It doesn't matter. Since this will help fellow Taoist Dan break through the bottleneck of his battle soul, I am willing to exchange pointers with Senior. Please. As soon as Ning Fan said please, he immediately distanced himself from Venerated Pill. As for the others, they immediately retreated far away. Exchanging pointers with Venerated Pill and helping him break through the bottleneck of his battle soul was almost like giving Venerated Pill a free favor. Ning Fan naturally would not reject it. As for Ning Fan, he also wanted to see how far his medicine soul was from that of a low-grade 6th Revolution pill refinement realm expert. Theoretically, the strength of Ning Fan's medicine soul had already reached the low-grade 6th Revolution. The reason why he had yet to break through to the sixth revolution was because he lacked a helping hand to do so. On the way to the Pill Island, Ning Fan repeatedly studied the heavenly dipper palm imprint that the Pill Sovereign had imparted to him. Gradually, he gained some insights. He even integrated the 108 movements of the Execution Devil Palm into the Heavenly Dipper imprint. On the basis of the 36 movements of the Heavenly Dipper imprint, he created 3 movements of the Earth-Killing Palm. All of them were borrowed from the Execution Devil Palm. Currently, the Medicine Soul Palm imprint that Ning Fan knew had a total of 39 movements. It was 3 more than what the Pill Sovereign had imparted to him. Exchanging pointers with Venerated Pill today was also an opportunity for him to try out his new techniques. As soon as they heard that Ning Fan was going to compete with Venerated Pill in Battle Soul techniques, the entire Pill Island immediately became lively. Battle Soul techniques were techniques that only ancient Pill Refinement Masters knew. Occasionally, some 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Masters would learn them. However, ordinary Pill Refinement Masters might not even get to see it once in their entire lives. Moreover, it was extremely rare to see 2 Pill Refinement Masters competing with each other using Battle Soul techniques at the same time. Each of the Pill Refinement Masters watched Ning Fan and Venerated Pill who were facing each other from afar. None of them dared to make any noise in case they disturbed the competition. Most of the Pill Refinement Masters thought that the winner of the competition would be Venerated Pill. After all, Venerated Pill was a true low-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master while Ning Fan was just a peak-grade 5th Revolution Pill Refinement Master. Elder Yang, who do you think will win between Venerated Pill and Venerated Ming? Venerated Ming is your master. You should know him very well, right? Do you think he can withstand the Battle Soul attack of Venerated Pill? Huang Tingzi transmitted his voice to Yang Gu who was beside him. Venerated Pill's Pill Refinement realm has reached the 6th revolution. This is a fact that everyone in the Rain world knows. In terms of the level of his medicine soul, he is naturally higher than my master. However, every time my master does something, he always surprises everyone. In the eyes of others, my master might not be able to withstand the Battle Soul attack of Venerated Pill. However, in my opinion, even if my master withstands the attack of Venerated Pill, it won't be strange at all for him to surpass Venerated Pill. There's nothing strange about him even surpassing Venerated Dan. Yang Gu, on the other hand, was full of confidence in Ning Fan. Fellow Taoist Yang actually thinks that Venerated Ming has a chance of winning? Huang Tingzi shook his head disapprovingly. It was not that he was underestimating Ning Fan. In fact, Huang Tingzi also admired Ning Fan's pill refinement skills very much. He even regarded Ning Fan as the 8th pill refinement master in the Rain world. However, no matter what, it was a fact that Ning Fan had yet to attain the 6th revolution pill refinement realm. Huang Tingzi did not think that a 5th revolution medicine soul could defeat a 6th revolution medicine soul. In his opinion, Ning Fan's cultivation base was indeed astonishing. He could suppress the entire Mist Horn clan and kill Void Inquiry stage cultivators. It was enough for him to dominate the Rain world. In terms of combat strength, Venerated Pill was definitely not Ning Fan's match. However, in terms of the strength of his medicine soul, Ning Fan was probably still weaker than Venerated Pill. Great Elder, do you want to make a bet with me? I'm willing to use a 30,000 years old flying cloud grass to bet that my master won't lose. Yang Gu could not help but shake his head. He had endless confidence in Ning Fan. After all, Ning Fan was his master. However, he was not an idiot. He would not blindly bet on Ning Fan's victory. He would only bet that Ning Fan would not lose. The meaning of not losing also included a draw. Ning Fan's peak grade 5th revolution pill refinement realm might be a little heaven-defying if he could defeat Venerated Pill. However, it was not impossible for him to win in a draw. A 30,000 years old flying cloud grass? All right, I will make a bet with you. If you bet that Venerated Ming will not lose, I will bet that Venerated Pill will definitely win. As for the bet, I will use the Rainflower pill that I just concocted as the bet. Huang Tingzi was also quite confident in Venerated Pill. There were more than 30,000 cultivators of the Pill Island on the scene. However, other than Yang Gu, only Su Yen and Ming Ke had confidence in Ning Fan. In the battlefield, Ning Fan and Venerated Pill were facing each other from a distance. Both of them restrained their magic power and activated the power of their medicine souls. Soul Transforming Dragon Technique. Venerated Pill patted the top of his head. His surging medicine soul power turned into a gigantic black dragon, rushing out of his head and soaring into the sky. As soon as the black dragon appeared, it immediately attracted the attention of countless cultivators of the Pill Island. Oh my God! Venerated Pill can actually transform his medicine soul into the form of a dragon to attack his enemies. Is this the battle soul attacking technique of the ancient Pill Masters? It's indeed profound and profound. It's not something that we can imagine. The chi of this black dragon is comparable to that of a Void Glimpse stage-old monster. Its attack is comparable to a Void Glimpse stage attack. Venerated Ming's cultivation base is terrifying. However, if he only uses his battle soul technique to receive this attack, he certainly won't be able to withstand a single attack from the black dragon. The discussions in the surroundings quietened down at the moment Ning Fan raised his palm. Each of the old monsters held their breaths, waiting to see how Ning Fan would deal with Venerated Pill's soul-transforming dragon technique. After Ning Fan raised his palm, he put it down again. A few moments later, he raised it again and put it down again. In his mind, he repeatedly recalled the essence of the execution devil palm. His understanding of the heavenly dipper palm imprint also increased. The great Tao was different but led to the same destination. Even if the devil martial arts and the battle soul technique were two completely different abilities, there must be some similarities between them. Ning Fan's eyes gradually became clear. He put down his palm for the last time and did not raise it again. He raised his head and stared at the black dragon coldly. A wave of majestic medicine soul aura force suddenly rushed out of his body, turning into a gigantic black palm imprint that hung in the sky. Heavenly Dipper Palm Imprint. Even though this palm imprint is the Pill Sovereign's ultimate technique, it won't be able to defeat me with just a single palm imprint. Venerated Pill's eyes flashed. He had recognized the Heavenly Dipper Palm Imprint. What I know isn't just a single palm imprint. The 36 Heavenly Dipper Imprint. Ning Fan's expression changed. His aura force was like the Big Dipper of the Heavenly Dipper constellation, neutral and peaceful. The power of his medicine soul was like a gushing ocean. It turned into 35 layers of black waves and condensed into 35 layers of gigantic black palms, merging with the previous palm imprint. When the 36 layers of palm imprints merged into one, his aura force skyrocketed. However, it was still slightly weaker than the black dragon's. You've actually learned all 36 styles of the Pill Sovereign's Heavenly Dipper imprint? Good. Venerated Pill's eyes flashed with a hint of battle intent. If Ning Fan has learned all of the Heavenly Dipper imprint, he could no longer be underestimated. He must use his full strength to deal with him. Venerated Pill changed his hand seal. The black dragon summoned the wind and rain and swept towards Ning Fan with a terrifying aura force. If Ning Fan's palm imprint was only at this level, Venerated Pill's chances of winning would be very high. However, Ning Fan's palm imprint was not that simple. There are still 3 more palm imprints. His eyes suddenly changed. His eyes that were originally like the Big Dipper constellation suddenly turned into a pair of eyes filled with terrifying killing intent. Even his medicine soul was tainted with an extremely heavy killing intent. His originally black medicine soul was now slightly blood red. What Venerated Pill found unbelievable was that Ning Fan had actually added 3 more styles of palm imprints on top of the 36 styles of Heavenly Dipper imprint. He actually knows 39 palm imprints. The last 3 palm imprints don't seem to be the palm imprints that the Pill Sovereign knows. Could it be that this young man created them himself? Just as Venerated Pill's mind was racing, Ning Fan's soul palm imprint had already landed heavily on the black dragon, producing a series of loud explosions. Boom, 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 39 consecutive explosions resounded. Such a tremendous force shocked countless cultivators of the Pill Island. During the collision, the palm imprints gradually weakened and eventually disappeared. As for the black dragon, It could not help but roar furiously. In the end, it was forcefully torn into two by the palm imprints. Boom! Another wave of energy fluctuations spread across the area. Ning Fan hurriedly took a few steps back while Venerated Pill also took a few steps back. Unlike Ning Fan's calmness, Venerated Pill's eyes flashed with intense astonishment. It's a draw! Countless cultivators of the Pill Island took a deep breath. All of them wore expressions of disbelief. In terms of the strength of one's medicine soul, Ning Fan was still slightly weaker than Venerated Pill. However, he had perfectly withstood the attack of Venerated Pill's battle soul with his understanding of the battle soul technique. This was just too unbelievable. A 5th Revolution Pill Refinement Master had actually blocked the attack of a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master's battle soul. If this matter were to spread out, it would definitely be a big news in the Rain world. A draw! Yang Gu looked at Huang Tingzi proudly. He had won this bet. How could this be? Huang Tingzi's face was full of regret, but he could not hide his deep shock. Why didn't he expect this outcome? A terrifying thought rose in Huang Tingzi's mind. Before Ning Fan had truly broken through to the 6th Revolution, his medicine soul was already on par with Venerated Pill. If Ning Fan attains the 6th Revolution Pill Refinement realm, wouldn't his medicine soul be even stronger than Venerated Pill? If that's the case, as long as Ning Fan attains the 6th Revolution Pill Refinement realm, he would be able to take over Venerated Pill's ranking and become the 7th Pill Refinement Master of the Rain world. Rain Immortal World. 7th. Thinking of this ranking, Huang Tingzi's breathing became erratic. Even a pill sovereign at his age would not be able to possess the 7th or 8th Pill Refinement realm in the Rain world. Could it be that Ning Fan's innate talent in pill refinement is even higher than the pill sovereign? Chapter 500. After the battle with Ning Fan, Venerated Pill seemed to have gained great enlightenment. After giving some instructions to all the elders, he thanked Ning Fan sincerely and hurriedly returned to the island for seclusion. He was eager to organize his understanding of the battle soul technique. As for Huang Tingzi, Yang Gu, and the other elders of the Pill Island, they followed Venerated Pill's order and led Ning Fan's group to rest on the island. There were 17 pill palaces on the Pill Island. All of them were built on the best spiritual veins. In the past, only the distinguished guests of the Pill Island could stay there. Ning Fan's group was arranged to stay in the Heaven Essence Pill Palace. It was the most famous palace among the 17 palaces. Obviously, Ning Fan was one of the most respected guests of the Pill Island in the past countless years. The Heaven Essence Palace was located at the peak of a mountain range. It was surrounded by clouds and mist. Immortal cranes chirped in the sky. Standing on the peak of the mountain range, one could see the insignificance of the other mountains. Looking at the mountains from the outside of the Heaven Essence Palace, one could see a 10,000 zhang pond surrounded by divine light. The pond was none other than the Pill Island's most famous soul-cleansing pond, and the divine light was the famous soul-cleansing light. In order to prevent the soul-bathing light from spreading, the soul-washing pond was sealed all year round. Normally, only the first few floors of the pond were opened for the Pill Refinement Masters on the island to cultivate. The remaining few floors were sealed one by one. At this moment, there were many experts of the Pill Island outside the soul-washing pond. They were busy removing the seal on the 5th floor of the pond. Presumably, the 5th floor would be opened in half a day. The divine light surrounding the soul-washing pond was slightly black in color. However, there was also a trace of extremely faint purple light. Is that the soul-bathing light? Ning Fan stood at the peak of the Heaven Essence Palace and looked down at the soul-washing pond. Su Yen, who was standing behind him, smiled and praised him. I didn't expect the battle between you and Venerated Pill to end in a draw. It's really unbelievable. Do you think I will lose? Ning Fan asked with a faint smile. Of course, I firmly believe that you won't lose. However, I am still a little surprised to see you draw with Venerated Pill. After all, the battle of medicine souls can be seen as a contest of pill refinement techniques. Since you can draw with Venerated Pill in terms of medicine soul, I suppose you won't lose to venerated pill in terms of pill refinement, right? Yen is really smart. I can't hide anything from you. It is true that the difficulty of concocting a 6th revolution Dan is far greater than a 5th revolution Dan. I have never tried to concoct a 6th revolution Dan, and it is impossible for me to concoct a 6th revolution Dan directly. However, if I concoct a peak 5th revolution pill first and then use the revolution upgrade technique to raise the grade of this pill, I have 30% confidence that I can concoct a low-grade 6th revolution pill. 30%? That's already very high. Other than you, I'm afraid there's no other 5th revolution pill master in the Rain world who has the confidence to concoct a 6th revolution pill. Your title of the 8th pill refinement master of Rain Immortal World is well deserved. If you break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, not to mention the 7th, I'm afraid you can even compete for the 6th or 5th position in Rain Immortal World. In the Rain Immortal World, there were only 4 people whose pill refinement mastery had reached the mid-grade 6th revolution. In Su Yan's mind, if Ning Fan attains the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, even those experienced low-grade 6th revolution pill refinement masters would certainly not be a match for him. Ning Fan just smiled and did not answer. Su Yan quietly looked at Ning Fan's back and firmly believed that she was not mistaken. After all, even though his back was obviously skinny, it gave people a sense of security and trust. Brother Biscuit, can I take a stroll around the Biscuit Island on my own? Little Ming Kei's eyes were filled with pleading. Take a stroll? I'm afraid you want to sneak into the forbidden area of the Pill Island and secretly eat their pills, don't you? Ning Fan exposed Ming Kei's thoughts. Hee hee. Ming Kei playfully stuck out her tongue. She felt rather embarrassed that Ning Fan had seen through her thoughts. There are a total of 42,000 pill refinement masters on the Pill Island. Among them, 34,000 are First Revolution Pill Masters, 7,000 are Second Revolution Pill Masters, 400 are Third Revolution Pill Masters, 74 are Fourth Revolution Pill Masters, and 5 are Fifth Revolution Pill Masters. There are quite a lot of pills stored on the Pill Island. Most of them are concocted by the disciples and elders on a daily basis. However, most of them are low-grade pills. Most of them are below the 3rd revolution. As for pills above the 4th revolution, other than the cultivators on the island who use them for cultivation, most of them are sold to the cultivators of the Endless Sea in exchange for immortal jade or medicinal ingredients. Ning Fan's words gradually made Ming Kei feel dejected. What's the use of having a lot of 3rd revolution pills on the island? It was almost impossible for her to improve her cultivation base by consuming them. At the very least, she needed to consume 5th revolution pills in order to improve her strength. Even though there were many pill refinement masters on the Pill Island and they could also concoct a lot of finished pills, the high-grade pills would be sold off as soon as they are produced. There was no other way about it. Pill concoction was originally a profession that burned money. It was not hard to imagine how much medicinal ingredients would be consumed and how much money would be burned for 40,000 pill refinement masters to concoct pills every day. Especially those high-grade pill refinement masters who kept trying to concoct pills that were beyond their capabilities. However, 9 out of 10 of them would end up in failure. Hence, the Pill Island needed to sell pills continuously in order to have enough money to support the pill refinement masters on the island. In Ming Kei's imagination, the Pill Island was filled with high-grade pills. However, that was not the case. Even if she empties the storehouse of the Pill Island, she would not be able to find too many 5th revolution pills. I thought that after coming to the Biscuit Island, I can eat pill biscuits until I'm full. Ming Kei's small face was filled with disappointment. She no longer had the mood to wander around. There's a place that might be able to let you eat until you're full. Follow me. Ning Fan smiled mysteriously. He did not rest in the primordial heaven palace. Instead, he brought Su Yan and Ming Kei straight to a certain medicinal valley on the Pill Island. It was a small and narrow medicinal valley. It was surrounded by a circle on all 4 sides like a natural treasure bowl. There was only one elder of the Pill Island guarding the medicinal valley. The name of the valley was Waste Pill Valley. As the name suggested, it was used to store useless pills. As long as one was a pill refinement master, there would be times when their pills would turn out to be useless. There was no exception. All the useless pills concocted by the cultivators of the Pill Island would be sent to this medicinal valley and piled up randomly. Every 10 years, the elder who guarded the valley would clean up the useless pills. At this moment, there were still 2 more years before the useless pills would be cleaned up. In other words, all the useless pills concocted by the pill refinement masters of the Pill Island in the past 8 years were piled up in the valley. Ning Fan's purpose of bringing Ming Ke to the Waste Pill Valley was very simple. He just wanted to take away all the 5th Revolution pills. He wanted to use Ming Ke's ability to purify all the 5th Revolution pills. Then she would have enough pills to consume. Breaking through to the Void Refinement Realm was just around the corner. Of course, purifying the useless pills would consume a lot of magic power and time. Hence, it was enough for Ming Ke to purify the 5th Revolution pills. If she purifies even low-grade useless pills, it would be too much of a waste of time and magic power. Ming Ke was not stupid. When Ning Fan brought her to the Waste Pill Valley, she immediately understood what he wanted to do. She patted her forehead and said embarrassedly, "How could I forget that there is such a method? To me, aren't useless biscuits still edible?" Su Yan still did not know that Ming Ke had the ability to purify the useless pills. Thus, she did not understand why Ning Fan came to the Waste Pill Valley. The elder who guarded the valley was a late Gold Core Realm middle-aged cultivator. His name was Wang Cheng. A late Gold Core Realm cultivator could be considered as an old ancestor in a low-grade cultivation country. However, he was not worth mentioning on the Pill Island. He only had the right to guard the Waste Pill Valley. Guarding the Waste Pill Valley was an idle job. Besides, there was nothing to be gained from it. Thus, Wang Cheng was happy to have some peace and quiet. The useless pills did not have any edible value. Their only use was to bury them once every 10 years. The weak medicinal qi of the pills could be used to slightly improve the spirit veins of the Pill Island. Therefore, other than the attending disciples who were responsible for transporting the useless pills, very few people would come to the Waste Pill Valley. Wang Cheng was leisurely guarding the pavilion at the entrance of the valley. He was playing a black and white chess piece against himself in a leisurely manner. When Ning Fan and the others arrived at the valley, Wang Cheng did not even raise his head. He just thought that they were attending disciples who were transporting the useless pills. Thus, he complained indifferently. Useless pills. Another batch of useless pills. 3 batches of useless pills have been delivered here this month. Can't you guys be more attentive when you concoct pills? It's shameful to waste pills, understand? As the saying goes, those who recklessly waste God's resources will be spat upon by the heavens. Each of the useless pills here requires the consumption of medicinal ingredients and immortal jade. Wang Cheng grumbled for a while and continued playing his chess piece. At this moment, the voice of a young man suddenly echoed from afar. Well said. Those who recklessly waste God's resources will be spat upon by the heavens. Be it pill concoction or cultivation, everything in the world must be done attentively. You can't neglect it. The young man's voice made Wang Cheng's hand, which was about to place his chess piece, stiffen in midair. Wang Cheng raised his head in disbelief. When he saw that the person who came was not a attending disciple but Ning Fan's group, he was so scared that he nearly peed his pants. His entire body began to tremble and he immediately went out of the pavilion to welcome them. Revered Ming, why did you come to my Waste Pill Valley? Please come in. I misspoke. Wang Cheng suddenly realized that inviting Ning Fan into the Waste Pill Valley seemed to be very inappropriate. The Waste Pill Valley was used to store useless people. If he invited Ning Fan into the valley, wouldn't he be secretly calling him a useless person? Of course, Wang Cheng recognized Ning Fan. In other words, how could there be anyone on the Pill Island who did not know Ning Fan? Venerated Pill's order had already been passed down to the entire Pill Island. Not to mention entering the Waste Pill Valley, Ning Fan could even enter the forbidden area of the Pill Island. However, Wang Cheng did not understand why Ning Fan would come to the Waste Pill Valley. Thus, he did not dare to ask about it. He had stayed on the Pill Island for his entire life. Although he had never seen any great events, he had heard too much of Ning Fan's notoriety. Now that he was in close contact with Ning Fan, the #1 Devil Lord of the Internal Sea, he naturally felt extremely terrified. There's no need to be nervous. The reason why I came to the Waste Pill Valley is just to collect some useless pills for research. I don't have any ill intentions. What's your name? What is your position on the Pill Island? Ning Fan explained. As soon as Wang Cheng heard that Ning Fan did not have any ill intentions, he heaved a sigh of relief and answered respectfully. My name is Wang Cheng. I'm the 3rd-class elder of the Pill Island and I'm in charge of guarding the Waste Pill Valley. I want to collect some useless pills for research. How about this? You go and filter out all the useless pills that are above the 5th revolution and send them to the Primordial Heaven Palace. The faster the better. It's best if you can complete it within a day. Filter out all the useless 5th revolution pills. And the faster the better? Within a day. Wang Cheng's jaw dropped in shock. The useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley were not worth a single cent. Ning Fan was a distinguished guest of the Pill Island. It did not matter to him to take whatever he wanted. Of course, he did not have any objections. What made Wang Cheng feel awkward was that Ning Fan wanted him to filter out all the useless 5th revolution pills. It was very difficult to determine the grade of the useless pills. Moreover, most of them were charred black and there was not much difference in their appearance. Unless one was a 5th revolution pill refinement master with a medicine soul, it would be very difficult to identify the grade of the useless pills. Only God knew that there were tens of millions of useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley. Among them, less than 100,000 were useless pills that were above the 5th revolution. Searching for a few hundred 5th revolution pills from tens of millions of useless pills was like looking for a needle in a haystack. The difficulty was not small. Even if Wang Cheng was given 10 years, he might not be able to filter out all the 5th revolution pills. Let alone within a day. Revered Ming, please forgive me. One day is really not enough. Wang Cheng trembled uncontrollably. He did not know what would happen if he disobeyed Ning Fan's order. Not enough? Could it be that the useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley are not stored according to grade? Ning Fan spread his spirit sense and scanned the Waste Pill Valley. Then he burst into laughter. The useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley were casually piled up like rubbish. They were not categorized according to grade. It was indeed difficult for Wang Cheng, a mere gold core realm cultivator, to filter out the 5th revolution pills. Forget it. Yen Air, accompany Ming Ke to filter out the 5th revolution pills. Her nose is very sensitive. She will know where the 5th revolution pills are with just a sniff. Ning Fan left Su Yen and Ming Ke in the Waste Pill Valley. With Ming Ke's sense of smell, which was used to search for heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures, it would not be too difficult for her to find the 5th revolution pills in the Pill Ocean. Su Yen was confused. Until now, she still could not figure out why Ning Fan would ask for the 5th revolution pills. Ming Ke was eager to give it a try. She wanted to immediately find all the 5th revolution pills and purify them one by one. As for Wang Cheng, he heaved a sigh of relief. He did not expect Ning Fan to be so easygoing. He actually did not kill Wang Cheng just because he refused his order. Revered Ming doesn't seem to be as ruthless as the rumors say. Speaking of which, why did Revered Ming ask for the 5th revolution pills for research? Wang Cheng asked in confusion. After leaving the Waste Pill Valley, Ning Fan went to the libraries on the Pill Island alone to read pill recipes, pill refinement techniques, and many other insights. Whenever he saw a 5th revolution or 6th revolution pill recipe, he would make a copy of it. The elders who were guarding the libraries naturally did not dare to stop him. In just half a day, Ning Fan had visited all the libraries on the Pill Island. Half a day later, Venerated Pill finally came out from his seclusion. He had already absorbed all the insights he had gained from the battle with Ning Fan. I heard that fellow Taoist needs 5th revolution pills? May I know why you need 5th revolution pills? Venerated Pill had already received the news and asked casually. It's just for research. Knowing one's defeat is the way to obtain victory. Ning Fan answered casually. Of course, he would not tell the truth. I see. Fellow Taoist wants to understand the reason behind the failure of pill refinement from the Fifth Revolution pills to verify your Tao of pill. Venerated Pill nodded and no longer asked. Then he raised his head and said with a smile, "On my pill island, other than the soul-washing pond, there is another treasure. It's the divine chess of an ancient pill master. I wonder if fellow Taoist is interested in meeting it. Would you like to try and see if you can open its seal?" Divine chests? Ning Fan was slightly surprised. The so-called divine chests were a storage method unique to the ancient divine clan. They could hide treasures using divine techniques that could isolate them from the heavenly secrets. The treasures would not be destroyed even after thousands of years. Some divine chests contained secret treasures, some contained cultivation methods, some contained pills, and some even contained ancient living beings. Could it be that there are actually divine chests left behind by ancient divine cultivators on the Pill Island? Judging from Venerated Pill's tone, the divine chests had never been opened before. Chapter 501. That's right. I do have a batch of divine chests that have yet to be opened. They are kept in the Purple Chi Palace. My cultivation base is too weak to open these divine chests. I hope fellow Taoist can help me open them. Of course, opening the divine chests is extremely difficult. Even if fellow Taoist fails, it won't be a big deal. However, if fellow Taoist succeeds, I'm willing to share this batch of divine chests with you. I wonder if fellow Taoist is willing to give it a try? Venerated Pill's eyes flashed with anticipation. He knew that Ning Fan's abilities were extraordinary. That was why he asked for his help. Of course, Venerated Pill was not very confident that Ning Fan could open the divine chests. He was just trying his luck. Since fellow Taoist has invited me, I'm naturally willing to give it a try. As for whether I can open the divine chests or not, I can only do my best and leave it to fate. However, I have a question. The ancient divine clan has been extinct for a long time. The ancient divine chests are also very rare. I wonder where did fellow Taoist find these divine chests? Ning Fan asked. I found these divine chests in the outer area of the immortal burning valley. Fellow Taoist, please follow me. Venerated Pill laughed and led Ning Fan to the Purple Chi Palace. Ning Fan's eyes widened slightly. He was shocked by the name of the immortal burning valley. Even though he had not been to too many cultivation countries in the rain world, he had heard a little about the immortal burning valley. The immortal burning valley was located in an ancient forbidden area in a void-grade cultivation country, West Flame Country. It was said to be the remains of an ancient sect that was destroyed. There were many opportunities in the valley but more dangers. Many experts of the rain world would go to the immortal burning valley to seek opportunities. Unfortunately, cultivators below the nascent soul realm could not even enter the outer area of the valley. As for the cultivators who could enter the outer area, 9 out of 10 of them would probably die inside. In order to enter the valley, one would need at least an absolute void stage cultivation base to break through the flame formation. At least, Venerated Pill could not enter the valley. They could only search for treasures in the outer area. Rumor has it that in the deepest part of the immortal burning valley, there was a fallen abyss which was sealed by layers of intertwining immortal flames. Even void fragmentation realm experts could not enter it. Even if they forced their way in, they would most likely die. Ning Fan had always suspected that the reason why the Rain Sovereign valued his indestructible fire body so much was because he wanted him to enter the fallen abyss was because he wanted him to enter it to search for something. Of course, this was just Ning Fan's speculation. As for what the Rain Emperor needed him to do, it was not something that he could make a rash decision on. Now that Venerated Pill had brought out a few pieces of divine chests from the outer region of the immortal burning valley, he could not help but feel a little interested. As they pondered, the two of them arrived at the Purple Chi Palace. This was a forbidden palace deep in the mountains, shrouded in purple mist. The spiritual vein of this Purple Chi Palace was not as superior as that of the Primordial Heaven Palace. However, a low-grade mortal void grand formation was set up outside the palace. Moreover, There were quite a number of experts of the Pill Island guarding this place. Obviously, venerated Pill attached great importance to the defense of this place. Greetings, Alchemy Lord. Greetings to venerated Ming. As soon as the cultivators of the Pill Island saw the two of them, they immediately knelt down and greeted them. No need for formalities. Zhu Qing, guard this place. Don't let anyone enter the Purple Chi Palace. This old man wants to enter the palace with revered Ming. I don't want to be disturbed, venerated Pill said in a dignified manner. The leader of the cultivators guarding the area immediately activated the formation, not daring to be negligent. When Ning Fan and venerated Pill had already entered the palace, Zhu Qing ordered his men to close the grand formation again. However, there was a hint of shock in his eyes that was difficult to conceal. The same shock also appeared in the eyes of the other cultivators. There are only 3 pieces of divine chests in the Purple Chi Palace. Could it be that venerated Pill and revered Ming have come together to open the divine chests? A young cultivator guessed. In the past hundreds of years, venerated Pill had also invited a few Void Refinement Realm experts to open the divine chests. However, none of them succeeded. Now that they have invited revered Ming to open the divine chests, they probably won't succeed either, right? An elderly man shook his head and said, "Be careful with your words. Do you think a person like revered Ming is someone you can discuss behind his back? Shut up right now." As soon as Zhu Qing gave an order, his divine transformation realm aura force dispersed. Everyone stopped talking. Inside the Purple Chi Palace, Ning Fan was following venerated Pill while carefully observing the decorations inside the palace. The palace was built in the shape of the character Hui. It was divided into 2 halls. The palace was paved with turquoise stones and illuminated with moonlight stones. It was magnificent. In the outer hall, there was a pair of nascent soul realm spiritual puppets guarding the 2 sides of the path every 10 steps. After entering the inner hall, there were a total of 16 divine transformation realm spiritual puppets guarding the 4 sides of the hall. The inner hall was sealed off by layers of grand formations. Other than venerated Pill himself, no one could enter. In the middle of the grand formations, there were 3 white jade platforms. Each of the platforms was enshrined with a gigantic blue stone. The blue stone was round and about 10 zhang tall. From afar, it looked like a stone egg. The surface of the boulders was covered with dense green runes. They gave off an ancient qi and glowed with an immortal light. With these runes, the boulders were extremely sturdy. Even a Void Refinement Realm attack would not be able to break them. These 3 boulders were the 3 divine treasures, and each boulder had some secret treasures sealed in it. These are bronze-grade divine chests. It was Ning Fan's first time seeing a divine chest with his own eyes. His eyes sparkled. In the ancient divine clan, divine chests were also divided into different grades. Divine chests that were sealed with blue stones were known as bronze grade. Generally, they were the most inferior secret treasures. Above bronze grade divine chests were usually silver grade divine chests, gold grade divine chests, and so on. However, to the cultivators of the later generations, even the most inferior bronze-grade divine chests had immeasurable value. Fellow Taoist, you have extraordinary experience. You actually know about the grades of divine chests. That's right. These 3 divine chests are bronze-grade divine chests. I found them at the outer area of the immortal Burning Valley. Together with the 3 bronze-grade divine chests, I also found the Flame Light Goblet. Based on the Flame Light Goblet, I made a bold guess that the ancient cultivator who left these 3 divine chests was a Pill Refinement Master. Therefore, the treasures in these 3 divine chests must be related to Pill Refinement. Venerated Pill explained. Ning Fan remained silent. He had seen the Flame Light Goblet before. It was the #1 treasure of the Pill Island. He did not expect that it would be found together with these 3 divine chests. The Flame Light Goblet had the magical effect of identifying pills. It was extremely valuable, but it was not kept in the divine chests. In other words, the treasures in these 3 divine chests were even more valuable than the Flame Light Goblet. Each of the divine chests has the divine technique and runes left behind by the ancient divine clan. With these runes, it will be extremely difficult to break open the divine chests and obtain the treasures in the rocks. Venerated Pill sighed and took out a fiery red flying sword. All of a sudden, he leaped into the air and flew towards one of the divine chests, as if he wanted to show Ning Fan how sturdy the divine chests were. The flying sword that he was holding was a half-step mortal void treasure. A single strike of his sword produced countless fiery sword rays. Its destructive power was not to be underestimated. It was enough to injure a half-step void refinement realm expert. Countless sword rays landed on the bluestone divine chests like raindrops. However, they only produced a crisp sound of impact. They could not even leave a scratch on the bluestone at all. As fellow Taoists can see, the sturdiness of these divine chests can even ignore the attacks of half-step void refinement realm experts. Even when I transform my soul into a dragon and display a void glimpse stage attack, I still couldn't break the bluestone and take out the divine chests inside. I have also invited void inquiry stage cultivators to open the divine chests, but none of them succeeded. Venerated Pill's words made Ning Fan fall into silence again. The so-called divine chests were just treasures hidden inside rocks. As long as the bluestone's outer layer is split open, one would be able to obtain the secret treasures. However, it was not an easy task to split open the outer layer of the bluestone. Separation Slayer, Force. Ning Fan walked towards the first bluestone step at a time. All of a sudden, he touched his glabella and took out the Separation Slayer sword. He channeled his essence chi into his arm. Then, he raised his hand and slashed at the first bluestone with the power to move mountains and rivers. The technique of this sword move was simple and it seemed ordinary. However, the massive force it drew was enough to severely injure even a void inquiry stage old monster. What a strong sword technique! Venerated Pill's eyes widened in shock. If he was the one who was slashed by this sword move, he would certainly die. Ning Fan's strength was far beyond Venerated Pill's expectation. His eyes could not help but reveal a look of anticipation. He was looking forward to Ning Fan slashing open the bluestone's outer layer. Boom! The first bluestone took the attack head-on. It completely withstood Ning Fan's terrifying strength that could move mountains and fill seas. The white jade platform that was built on the bluestone base was shattered into pieces by the force of the sword. The bluestone fell to the ground. Even so, there was only a sword mark that was as thin as a strand of hair on the surface of the divine chests. In just an instant, the runes on the surface of the bluestone moved and the sword mark healed. It was as good as new. The massive slashing force caused the entire Purple Chi Palace to shake violently. It startled all the cultivators of Pill Island who were guarding the palace. However, none of them dared to enter the palace to investigate. Ning Fan could not help but frown slightly when he saw that his sword could not break the outer layer of the divine chests. It's really hard. Even the attack of an unrivaled void inquiry stage expert could only leave a sword mark that was as thin as a strand of hair on the bluestone. According to Ning Fan's estimation, even a void fragmentation realm old monster might not be able to break this bluestone. Moreover, even if the outer layer of the divine chests is forcefully broken, the secret treasures stored inside might also be damaged. Ning Fan gradually realized that forcefully breaking the outer layer of the divine chests was not the real way to open the divine chests. Even fellow Taoist's heaven-shaking sword attack can't break the bronze divine chests. Venerated Pill revealed a disappointed expression and let out a deep sigh. However, he suddenly stopped and noticed that Ning Fan was about to make his next move. After his sword attack failed, Ning Fan withdrew his Separation Slayer sword and remained silent for a while. Then he suddenly opened his mouth and breathed out balls of black devil flames, enveloping the bluestone and burning it forcefully. Venerated Pill's eyes lit up. The grade of this devil flame was far beyond his imagination. It was extremely powerful. However, what disappointed Venerated Pill was that even such a powerful devil flame could not burn the outer layer of the bluestone. Not only was this bluestone divine chests impervious to blades, but it also seemed to be impervious to fire and water. Sigh. It seems like even fellow Taoist can't break the bronze divine chests. Venerated Pill sighed again. Ning Fan did not care about venerated Pill's sigh. He withdrew his devil flame and stood quietly at the side of the blue stone. The first time he slashed the blue stone was to open the divine chests. Then, the second time he used the devil flame was just a test. Ning Fan did not expect the devil flame to be able to burn the blue stone. He just stared at the blue stone after it was burnt and fell into deep thought. The power of the devil flame was extraordinary. Even if it could not burn the outer layer of the blue stone, it could still leave some charred marks on it. However, after the green runes flashed, they seemed to be flowing. All the damages on the blue stone were instantly repaired. Ning Fan seemed to have understood something. The reason why he could not break the blue stone was not because the blue stone itself was too hard but because the runes on it were too powerful. When his finger came into contact with the flashing runes, they stopped flashing for a moment and returned to normal. However, Ning Fan could hear a strange voice of the great Tao from the runes. It was the source of power that prevented the blue stone from being destroyed. Without a doubt, these runes were the divine technique runes of the ancient divine clan. There is actually a Tao voice in the divine technique of the ancient divine clan. Could this Tao voice be the reason why the ancient divine clan is so powerful? Tao voice. Tao power. If I want to break the blue stone divine chests, I have to use the power of the great Tao to cut it? Ning Fan seemed to have gained some enlightenment, but he could not comprehend it. Seeing that Ning Fan could not break the outer layer of the divine chests after 2 attempts, venerated Pill already wanted to give up. He comforted him. The toughness of the divine chests is far beyond my imagination. It seems like even fellow Taoist can't break the outer layer of the divine chests. Forget it. Fellow Taoist doesn't need to try anymore. I already know the result. Fellow Taoist Pill, you don't have to give up in such a hurry. Haven't you heard of the saying, sincerity can split metal and stone? Ning Fan's eyes darkened. He had already found the method to open the divine chests. Traces of the power of the memory intent realms surrounded his body like pieces of black goose feather snowflakes. Ning Fan made a grabbing motion with his 5 fingers. All of the black snow gathered at the center of his palm, condensing into a black gold short sword that was as cold as ice. The sword was not more than 1 chi long. It emitted a sword light that was similar to the great Tao. Ning Fan waved the short sword and sliced the outer layer of the blue stone. With just a gentle slash, a thin piece of the outer layer was cut off. Venerated Pill was a little stunned. The toughness of the blue stone could even withstand a full-force attack from Ning Fan. Why was it unable to withstand a gentle slash from the black gold short sword? He stared at the short sword carefully. Suddenly, he seemed to have noticed something and exclaimed, "This is a Tao weapon." The so-called Tao weapon was a weapon of the great Tao formed by cultivators who have attained the second step of their intent realm. The blue stone divine chests could defend against magic attacks, but it might not necessarily be able to defend against the slashes of the great Tao. This black gold short sword was none other than Ning Fan's great Tao weapon, Memory-Severing Tao Sword. Seeing that the Memory-Severing Tao Sword could cut open the outer layer of the divine chests, Ning Fan guessed inwardly. Could it be that the way to open the divine chests in ancient times is to use a Tao weapon to cut off the outer layer of the stone? While pondering, his hands did not stop moving. Not long after that, he completely cut off the outer layer of the first piece of the divine chests. Among the fine stone lines, the edge of a wooden box could be vaguely seen. It was made of red sandalwood. Ning Fan carefully cut open the blue stone along the edge of the wooden box. The surface of the box was damaged. Finally, he took out the wooden box intact. After that, Ning Fan continued to cut open the blue stone. He cut out an exquisite pottery jar. Other than these 2 items, he did not find any other items in the stone. Looking at the red sandalwood box and the pottery jar, Venerated Pill's breathing began to quicken. He said to Ning Fan excitedly, "Quickly, let's see what these 2 items are." From Venerated Pill's point of view, anything that could be kept in a divine chests must be good stuff. Ning Fan opened the red sandalwood box while Venerated Pill opened the pottery jar. Immediately, both of their expressions turned strange. The pottery jar actually contained a jar of bone ashes. As for the red sandalwood box, There was a wooden token made of sandalwood. It seemed to be the token used by the cultivators of the sect to prove their identity. What made Venerated Pill feel even more helpless was that the names of the sects and cultivators on the wooden token were written in ancient seal script. He actually could not recognize this type of language. I didn't expect that the first divine chests would only contain the life token and bone ashes of an ancient cultivator. How unlucky! Venerated Pill was extremely annoyed. A jar of bone ashes and a token did not have any value at all. Ning Fan was also a little disappointed. However, when he glanced at the token, his heart suddenly skipped a beat. Divine seal script? Venerated Pill might not recognize these ancient characters, but Ning Fan, who had extraordinary experience, could. There were only 5 words written on the token. Shedding Orchid Sect, Wei Yang. Apparently, the owner of the bone ashes was once a disciple of the Shedding Orchid Sect. His name was Wei Yang. As for the name of the Shedding Orchid Sect, Ning Fan had never heard of it before. However, it was not strange. Fellow Taoist, please continue to cut open the second divine chests. I don't believe that the second divine chests will also contain bone ashes. Venerated Pill urged. All right. Ning Fan nodded his head. He was prepared to split the divine chests equally with Venerated Pill. Naturally, he hoped to get something good from the divine chests. He did not want to get bone ashes again. Ning Fan waved the memory-severing Dao sword again and carefully cut open the stone cover of the divine chests. The second divine chests contained a storage thumb ring and a large pile of miscellaneous items. Among these items were a pill furnace, Dao crystals, pills, pill recipes, ancient scriptures, and a magic treasure with a palm leaf fan that was surrounded by purple flames. As for the storage thumb ring, there were only 42 tufts of spiritual herbs. However, all of them were 100,000 years old. Even though a storage thumb ring was rare, it was not worth mentioning. However, the 100,000 years old spiritual herbs made Venerated Pill's eyes burn with passion. However, after carefully examining those spiritual herbs, Venerated Pill realized that all of them had been corroded by devil chi. They were already tainted and could no longer be used to concoct pills. This made Venerated Pill extremely annoyed. As for the pill recipes and ancient scriptures, all of them were written in divine seal script. It was a pity that Venerated Pill could not recognize a single word of them. There were 200 Dao crystals, which were equivalent to 1 billion immortal jade. However, wealth also could not move Venerated Pill's heart. However, the pill furnace, palm leaf fan, and sixth revolution pills made Venerated Pill smile. Obviously, he was very satisfied with them. This pill furnace is a divine furnace that only ancient divine pill refinement cultivators would use. It's much better than ordinary pill furnaces that are condensed with intent realm power. This palm leaf fan is a low-grade mortal void treasure. Even though its grade isn't high, if it's used during pill concoction, it has the divine effect of slightly improving the quality of flames. These 2 magic treasures are items that only existed in ancient times. I didn't expect that I would be fated to see them. This is really key. There are also 12 sixth revolution pills. Pills aren't that precious anymore. Fellow Taoist, how do you think we should distribute these items? Venerated Pill only included the pill furnace, palm leaf fan, and sixth revolution pills in the distribution list. He did not care about the other items because they were useless to him. What Venerated Pill meant was that he wanted the pill furnace and palm leaf fan. To Ning Fan, the pill furnace and palm leaf fan were useless items. He really wanted the sixth revolution pills, but it was not necessary for him to have them. On the contrary, the pill recipes, ancient scriptures, and contaminated spiritual herbs that Venerated Pill looked down upon had piqued his interest. Ming Ke had the ability to purify pills. He wondered if she could purify 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. If she could, Ning Fan would have enough spiritual herbs to awaken Luo Yu in one go and obtain a void fragmentation realm bodyguard. The pill recipes and ancient scriptures were all written in divine seal scripts. Venerated Pill might not be able to read them, but Ning Fan could. If I take the ancient scriptures away, I wonder what kind of information I can obtain from them. Fellow Taoist, you seem to like the pill furnace and palm leaf fan very much. A gentleman should help others achieve their beauty but not their wickedness. How about this? The pill furnace and palm leaf fan will belong to fellow Taoist while the rest of the pills and miscellaneous items will belong to me. What do you think? Ning Fan said with a smile. Fellow Taoist, are you serious? Venerated Pill's face was filled with surprise. If he could obtain the 2 ancient pill refinement magic treasures, he might be able to comprehend the ancient great Tao of Pill. To Venerated Pill, these 2 treasures were related to his Tao of Pill. Thus, they were more precious than anything else. He was afraid that Ning Fan would take away these 2 treasures. When he heard Ning Fan's suggestion, he could not help but feel grateful. Fellow Taoist is really a generous person. Is that so? Ning Fan smiled faintly. This was probably the so-called everyone gets what they need and everyone is happy. Fellow Taoist, why don't you cut the 3rd divine stash and see what treasures are inside? Venerated Pill said excitedly. Yes. Ning Fan waved the memory-severing Tao sword and began to cut off the outer layer of the 3rd divine chest. However, cutting off the stone clothes this time gave him a slightly uneasy feeling. This was a feeling that he didn't have when he cut off the previous 2 pieces of divine treasures. What exactly is hidden in this divine treasure? Ning Fan hesitated. For the 3rd divine chest, he cut it from the bottom to the top. After cutting off a quarter of the stone cover, a beast hoof was revealed. The moment it was exposed to the air, the beast's hoof suddenly trembled slightly, as if it was a living creature. Shit, there are ancient living beings in the 3rd god treasury. Judging from its chi, this living being is actually a void inquiry stage living being. Venerated Pill suddenly reminded loudly. He never expected that there would be such a living being in the divine chests. There were risks in divine treasures, so one had to be cautious when cutting stones. The ancients did not deceive me. If a void fragmentation realm living being appears, wouldn't everyone be finished? Suddenly, the roar of a beast resounded from the 3rd divine chest. That beast's hoof stomped on the ground, shattering all the stone clothes from the inside out, revealing the massive body of the ancient living being. Then, it immediately grew larger with the wind. It was a strange beast that was half man and half horse. It held a bronze bow and arrow in both of its hands. The moment it appeared, it shot a green arrow at Ning Fan and Venerated Pill with blood-red eyes. The destructive power of the green arrow was a void inquiry stage attack. Its destructive power was not to be underestimated. Venerated Pill was attacked by the strange beast in a panic. Facing the void inquiry stage attack, his expression changed drastically. He hurriedly used the Soul Dragon transformation technique to block the void inquiry stage arrow with all his might. However, how could he block it? Venerated Pill coughed out blood and suffered severe injuries after the arrow went through his body. He could not withstand another arrow from the strange beast at all. While panicking, Venerated Pill shouted, "Venerated Ming, save me!" However, after calling for help, Venerated Pill was shaken by the aftershock of the arrow and directly fainted. From Venerated Pill's point of view, only Ning Fan had the strength to resist this void inquiry stage strange beast. Now that he had fainted, he could only rely on Ning Fan. Facing a void inquiry stage arrow, Ning Fan naturally would not be as flustered as Venerated Pill. He just casually flicked his sleeve and a vast amount of essence chi rushed out, directly shattering the void inquiry stage arrow into countless pieces. He coldly glared at the strange beast. Then, he raised his hand and took out a golden hand furnace. With a change of his hand's seal, circles of faint golden halos of spirit wheels spread out from the furnace. They contained boundless power. The halos bombarded the strange beast. Even though it was a dignified void inquiry stage strange beast, it could not withstand the faint golden halos. After letting out a few miserable cries, it let out a furious roar. The one who possesses the key of shedding orchid shall die. Its body trembled and suddenly self-destructed, turning into layers of fiery waves. Ning Fan hurriedly summoned his primordial lightning armor to block the self-destruction attack of the strange beast. The light of the self-destruction gradually faded. After a long time, There were only countless pieces of flesh and a bronze key left on the spot. Ning Fan picked up the key and saw that there were patterns of the great Tao carved on it. It seemed to be extremely extraordinary, but he did not know where it came from. What is the key of shedding orchid? Ning Fan kept the key. With a flick of his sleeves, wind blew and he used a magic technique to wake up venerated Pill who had fainted. Cough cough. I didn't expect that there would actually be an ancient creature sealed in the third piece of the divine chests. How terrifying. Where is that strange beast? Venerated Pill sighed while looking around. When he saw the pieces of flesh on the ground, his face was immediately filled with astonishment. Fellow Taoist has actually killed that Void Inquiry stage strange beast? Venerated Pill found it unbelievable. It's just a vile creature that has just attained the Void Inquiry stage. Ning Fan said disapprovingly. It was not the first time he had killed a Void Inquiry stage expert. He had even killed a Void Pierce stage ancient demon White Tiger. That strange beast had just attained the Void Inquiry stage, and it was not strong. Even if Su Yen were to handle it, she could easily kill it. Has just attained the Void Inquiry stage. Venerated Pill immediately looked at Ning Fan as if he was looking at a monster. That strange beast was really unlucky to encounter Ning Fan. What Venerated Pill did not know was that Ning Fan had also obtained a bronze key after killing the strange beast. At this moment, Venerated Pill looked at Ning Fan with tears of gratitude. If it wasn't for Ning Fan, he would certainly have died in the hands of that strange beast. I will never forget fellow Taoist's life-saving grace. Venerated Pill was extremely grateful. Chapter 502. The news of Ning Fan successfully opening the divine chests spread across the entire Pill Island very quickly. It couldn't be helped. The commotion caused by the self-detonation of the ancient living being was too huge. It had alerted many experts. After some investigation, everyone knew the whole story. Then, all the experts of the Pill Island were stunned. It was not a secret that Venerated Pill possessed the divine chests. He had asked many Void Refinement Realm experts to help him open the chests, but none of them succeeded. Today, however, Ning Fan had successfully opened the divine chests that no one could open. This undoubtedly proved Ning Fan's remarkable abilities. Outside the Purple Chi Palace, those cultivators who initially did not believe that Ning Fan could open the divine chests were so shocked that they could not speak a word. As for what treasures were inside the divine chests, it was certainly not something they could ask. In order to avoid unnecessary misunderstandings, Venerated Pill told them the reason for his injuries. When he talked about being attacked by the ancient living beings, many cultivators of the Pill Island turned pale with fright. Who would have thought that there would be a Void Inquiry stage ancient living being inside the divine chests? It was just too terrifying. Opening the divine chests was indeed risky. One could lose their life if they are not careful. After hearing about Ning Fan killing the ancient living being and saving Venerated Pill, each of the cultivators of the Pill Island felt deep respect for Ning Fan. However, some of them were still scared. If it wasn't for Ning Fan being so powerful, the entire Pill Island would probably have been massacred by the ancient living beings. As Ning Fan's disciple, Yang Gu's status in the Pill Island rose. Everyone respected him even more. Venerated Pill's complexion was still very pale. His injuries were not light. Even though he had taken some pills to suppress his injuries in time, it would still take some time for him to fully recover. The ambush this time was truly an undeserved calamity. Fortunately, he managed to obtain the 2 magic treasures that he had been dreaming of. At least his injuries were not in vain. Fellow Taoist opened the divine chests for me and even saved my life. I can't repay your kindness. If you need my help in the future, I will definitely go through water and tread on fire without any hesitation. Venerated Pill said with a solemn tone. Fellow Taoist Pill, you're exaggerating. However, since you said so, I will certainly ask for your help if I encounter any trouble in the future. Ning Fan said with a faint smile. This time, opening the divine chests had shortened the distance between Venerated Pill and Ning Fan. Venerated Pill had no choice but to immediately enter seclusion to heal his wounds. He entrusted the task of unsealing the soul-cleansing pond to Huang Tingzi, Yang Gu, and the other Pill Island elders. Before he left Ning Fan with extremely detailed insights on pill refinement. All of them were his lifetime understanding as a 6th Revolution pill refinement master. Ning Fan kept the jade slip and returned to the primordial heaven palace alone. All the maids who were serving in the hall were dismissed. The people who dismissed the maids were Ming Ke and Su Yan. In a certain side hall of the primordial heaven palace, Ming Ke was activating her magic power to purify piles of 5th Revolution pills. This was not a scene that could be seen by outsiders. On the side, Su Yan was in charge of putting Ming Ke's purified pills into a bottle. Her apricot eyes were filled with shock. She finally understood why Ning Fan would ask for useless pills from the Pill Island. Little K, I didn't expect you to be able to purify a defective pill into a qualified pill. Your means are truly amazing. Su Yan praised. Hee, big sister Yan, are you scared? I still have a lot of tricks up my sleeves. Bright Sparrow giggled. I'm scared, I'm really scared. You're such an incredible girl. Master has returned. As soon as they sensed Ning Fan's return, the two ladies immediately stopped what they were doing and stood up to welcome him. Both of them had naturally heard about Ning Fan opening the divine chests. When Su Yan heard that Ning Fan fought against an ancient living being, she could not help but feel worried. However, when she saw that Ning Fan was unscathed, she could not help but let out a sigh of relief. Ming Ke, on the other hand, had always been full of confidence in Ning Fan. She was not worried that he would get hurt. Instead, she was concerned about what secret treasures he had obtained from the divine chests. Brother Biscuit, what kind of good things are inside the divine chests? Can you let me have a bite? Ming Ke's petite face was filled with a pleading expression. She was indeed a pure foodie. You only know how to eat. Ning Fan could not help but laugh. He patted his storage pouch and took out 12 jade boxes, placing them on the table. Each of the jade boxes contained a 6th Revolution pill. Each of them emitted a strange pill fragrance which made Ming Ke salivate. These are 6th Revolution pills. There are actually 12 of them. There are so many of them. Even though Su Yan was a void inquiry stage expert and the leader of a clan, she rarely had the chance to come into contact with so many 6th Revolution pills. Among the 12 6th Revolution pills, 5 of them were low grade, 5 of them were mid-grade and 2 of them were high-grade. Not a single one of these 12 pills wasn't healing medicine. Even though healing pills were precious, they were not essential to Ning Fan, who had mastered the Black Star technique. Hence, he might as well give them to Ming Ke to increase her cultivation base. Little girl, I need your help with something. If you can do it, I will give all 12 of these 6th Revolution pills to you. Really? Ming Ke was drooling. Of course it's true. I have some spiritual herbs here. Help me purify them. Don't eat them carelessly. I have great use for them. Ning Fan took out a pile of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. The little girl was completely overjoyed. There are so many medicinal treasures. All of them are for me. She selectively forgot about Ning Fan's reminder. They were obviously not for her, all right? There are so many 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Su Yan was slightly surprised again. She realized that she would always be surprised one after another whenever she follows Ning Fan. Even though these spiritual herbs were contaminated by devil chi, Su Yan had never seen so many 100,000 years old spiritual herbs before. I've already told you that they are not for you to eat. It's fine if you want to eat them. However, you have to answer me first. Do you have the confidence to purify these spiritual herbs? Ning Fan shook his head speechlessly. Once this glutton sets her eyes on this batch of spiritual herbs, he could forget about getting them. After all, Ning Fan's pill refinement realm had yet to reach the 7th Revolution. Other than saving Luo Yu, he did not need these 100,000 years old spiritual herbs for the time being. Thus, it was fine to give some extra spiritual herbs to Ming Quebec. Moreover, he was not sure if she could purify these spiritual herbs. Ming Ke was a pill devil. It was reasonable for her to purify pills, but purifying medicinal herbs? I can purify these medicinal treasures. Believe me, I can really do it. 3 days at most. 2 days. Within 2 days, I can definitely purify all of them. Ming Ke was full of confidence. Alright, after the purification is done, leave 15 tufts for me. I need to save someone. Ning Fan patted Ming Ke's little head lovingly. Facing this innocent and naive glutton, he had no choice but to compromise. After all, without Ming Ke, he would not be able to get a single tuft of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Thus, he had to give her some compensation, didn't he? Moreover, with her half-step void refinement realm cultivation base, if she consumes these 6th revolution pills and 100,000 years old spiritual herbs, it would probably be enough for her to break through to the void refinement realm. This little girl's pill devil physique is really heaven-defying. Sometimes, Ning Fan could not help but think of making a bright sparrow nurturing plan. Ming Ke's physique was so heaven-defying. If she has enough pills and spiritual herbs, it would be enough to nurture her into a void fragmentation realm expert in a few decades. Moreover, she had obtained Si Tsong's memories. Her combat strength was extremely high. Once she becomes a void fragmentation realm expert, a nurturing plan. Ning Fan suddenly felt a little excited about what kind of person he could nurture Ming Ke into. Ming Ke began to get busy. She swallowed her saliva while purifying the 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Ning Fan then entered the profound Yin world. If nothing goes wrong, after Ming Ke purifies 15 tufts of spiritual herbs, Ning Fan would be able to wake Luo Yu up. He stepped into the thatched hut and carefully combed the body of the white-robed lady, making preparations to wake her up. When he was done, he walked out of the thatched hut and looked through the other loots in the divine chests. There was a sandalwood nameplate, a pill recipe, an ancient scripture, a bronze key, but the urn of bone ashes was not among them. Ning Fan took away Wei Yang's ashes along with the nameplate. Before he parted ways with venerated Pill, he buried his ashes in a secluded place on Pill Island and made a small grave. On top of the mound, there was only a stone tablet with 4 words written on it, to send off the ruler. Many cultivators of Pill Island could not understand his behavior. They could not understand why Ning Fan would treat an ancient cultivator who had died many years ago so well. Venerated Pill was the only one who understood Ning Fan's actions. Thus, his respect for Ning Fan increased. This was a kind of open-mindedness, letting all the grudges and gratitude return to dust, dust to dust, dust to dust. This was a kind of desire, a desire for someone to bury him today, a desire for someone to bury him in the future. This was a kind of helplessness. As a cultivator, it was hard for him to escape from the battle. He didn't know when he would fall in a foreign land and no one would collect his corpse. Shedding Orchid Sect, Wei Yang. In the profound Yin world, Ning Fan looked at the sandalwood nameplate and his eyes gradually fell into deep thought. It was the first time he saw this name tag, so he didn't pay too much attention to it. However, that ancient living being mentioned the Shedding Orchid Key. Ning Fan had examined it and found out that the Shedding Orchid Key was somewhat extraordinary. The metal used to forge the key was actually blue roving tears gold, which was even rarer than the immemorial star iron. This kind of metal was not as sturdy as the immemorial star iron. Thus, it was not suitable for forging weapons. However, it had another use. In ancient times, some powerful cultivators often used blue roving tears gold to forge keys to secret places. Normally, there would not be only one key that was made of blue roving tears gold. As for the keys that were made of this metal, they all had one thing in common. If all the keys are not collected, there was absolutely no way to open the door of the secret place. If one of the keys is destroyed, the secret place would never be able to be opened. Without a doubt, this Shedding Orchid Key was the key to a secret place in the Shedding Orchid Sect. Ning Fan's mind raced. There was a legend about the immortal Burning Valley in Western Flame Country. It was said that the immortal Burning Valley was the remains of an ancient sect that had been annihilated. As for which sect it was, there were no records in any ancient books. Since Wei Yang's ashes were found here, could the sect that was annihilated which was not recorded in the ancient books be the Shedding Orchid Sect? Could he obtain any benefits from the Shedding Orchid sect with this Shedding Orchid key? Ning Fan shook his head and stopped guessing. There was definitely more than one key. As for how many keys there were, perhaps only the Shedding Orchid sect that had been annihilated would know. No one knew what was hidden in the secret place. As for whether Ning Fan could find all the keys or if one of the keys was already destroyed, only God would know. With so many uncertainties, it was really not worth it for Ning Fan to waste his efforts on a Shedding Orchid key. This key was probably useless. Ning Fan kept the sandalwood nameplate and the Shedding Orchid key. Ning Fan flipped through the scrolls of pill recipes and his eyes lit up. Then he frowned. There were a total of 25 types of pill recipes in his divine chests. Each of them was a pill that was at the 6th revolution and above. There were even some pills that could increase one's cultivation base. Besides, the pills of the Shedding Orchid sect were far more effective than ordinary pills. For example, the low-grade 6th revolution void expansion pill could actually increase the cultivation base of an expert at any level of the void refinement realm. It was unlike ordinary pills that could only be consumed by void glimpse stage experts. If a void inquiry stage expert consumes it, their effects would be greatly reduced. Another example was the low-grade 6th revolution soul tempering pill. It could increase the medicine soul power of 5th revolution and 6th revolution pill refinement masters, thereby improving their pill refinement mastery. Among the pill recipes, Ning Fan even found a low-grade 6th revolution pill recipe called void-consuming pill. The effect of this pill was even more unique. It could actually help low-level cultivators consume 7th revolution pills and refine void fragmentation realm Dao fruits. If low-level cultivators recklessly consume 7th revolution pills or void fragmentation realm Dao fruits, there would only be one outcome: their bodies would explode from the medicinal power. Even for void glimpse stage and void inquiry stage experts who consume 7th revolution pills and void fragmentation realm Dao fruits, most of their medicinal power would be consumed due to their insufficient cultivation base. Ning Fan still had a void fragmentation realm Dao fruit with him. However, even though he had broken through to the mid-reckless devil realm, he had yet to consume it because he was worried that his cultivation base was not high enough and he would waste the power of the Dao fruit. However, if he had the void-consuming pill, he could consume the void fragmentation realm Dao fruit right now without wasting any of its power. In short, this void-consuming pill was something that could help cultivators digest the medicinal power of high-grade pills. Every single one of the 25 pill recipes was a precious item. However, after Ning Fan read through all of them, he frowned deeply. It was because all of them had a huge flaw. Every elixir had a flaw. Consuming these pills would cause a cultivator to lose their lifespan. All the pills of the Shedding Orchid sect require a cultivator to lose their lifespan in order to activate their medicinal power. Ning Fan could not help but feel a little shocked. He never expected that there would actually be such extreme pills in this world where a cultivator's lifespan would be used in exchange for the medicinal power of the pills. He kept the pill recipes and began to read the ancient scriptures. There were many cultivation methods and magic techniques of the Shedding Orchid sect in the ancient scriptures. Among them, there was a type of magic technique that made Ning Fan's eyes light up. However, all of these cultivation methods and magic techniques required the cultivator to lose their lifespan in order to cultivate them. Increasing the speed of cultivation and the power of magic techniques by losing one's lifespan was actually this extreme. The reason why cultivators cultivate is to live forever. However, the Shedding Orchid sect did the opposite. They did not seek for longevity, but instead, they reduced their lifespan. There was a scroll in the ancient scriptures which was written by Wei Yang. It contained an introduction about himself and the Shedding Orchid sect. Ning Fan carefully read through the scripture and his eyes became even more solemn. The word, shedding, in the Shedding Orchid sect definitely did not live up to its name. It was the essence of the cultivators of this sect. The location of the Shedding Orchid sect was indeed the immortal burning valley in the rain world. In ancient times, this sect was a sect that made a living by concocting pills. There was even an 8th revolution pill refinement master in the sect. This sect was established after the destruction of the divine race, demon race, and devil race. However, some of the cultivation methods of the ancient deities were left behind. Occasionally, some of their disciples would attain the great Tao of the ancient deities. Unfortunately, all the cultivation methods of the ancient deities were lost along with the destruction of the Shedding Orchid sect. In the past, Wei Yang was just a fourth-grade elder of the Shedding Orchid sect. He did not come into contact with the cultivation methods of the ancient deities, nor did he leave behind any cultivation methods of the ancient deities. According to Ning Fan's speculation, the person who sealed Wei Yang's corpse in the divine chests after his death should be an ancient deity cultivator of the Shedding Orchid sect who had achieved great mastery in the divine techniques in the past. The pills concocted by the Shedding Orchid sect were extremely extreme. Their cultivation methods were also extremely extreme. In the history of the Shedding Orchid sect, there had never been a void fragmentation realm cultivator who had a lifespan of more than 10,000 years. It was because the purpose of becoming an immortal was to seek longevity. However, the cultivation method of this sect was obviously the opposite of longevity. In the history of the Shedding Orchid sect, there had never been a void fragmentation realm cultivator who had a lifespan of more than 10,000 years. Ordinary void fragmentation realm cultivators had a lifespan of 100,000 years. As for the void fragmentation realm experts of the Shedding Orchid sect, they all had a short lifespan. Most of the things in the world needed to be sacrificed in order to gain. As for the Shedding Orchid sect, it was obvious that the word sacrifice was too extreme. When other people pursued longevity, they would be eager to have a longer lifespan. The Shedding Orchid sect, on the other hand, paid the price of losing their lifespan to rapidly increase their cultivation base. Of course, the reason why the Shedding Orchid sect gave up their lifespan was probably because they wanted to comprehend the great Tao of sacrifice for gain. The founding ancestor of the Shedding Orchid sect, Old Ancestor Shedding Orchid, had once said two sentences. "I don't seek longevity nor immortality. I dare to sacrifice the heavens for my Tao. Let's see if I will sacrifice my lifespan first or the great Tao first. One day, when I succeed in my great Tao, the heavens will not dare to stop me from becoming an immortal." Ning Fan closed the ancient scripture with a hint of respect in his eyes. This old ancestor Shedding Orchid was a ruthless person. He did not seek longevity but only sought to achieve his Tao. Even though it was a little extreme, the more extreme a great Tao was, the more terrifying it would be once it was successfully cultivated. The ancient scripture did not record the fate of old ancestor Shedding Orchid. Perhaps he succeeded in becoming an immortal, or perhaps he died from his lifespan. As for the Shedding Orchid sect that he built with his own hands, it was also destroyed in the end. The Tao of old ancestor Shedding Orchid sect contained a kind of determination which most people did not have. Ning Fan could vaguely understand this kind of determination to sacrifice everything. Then, he suddenly realized that the cultivation methods and pills of the Shedding Orchid sect might be very compatible with him. In the Black Lightning Tower, Ning Fan had unexpectedly obtained 100,000 years of lifespan. In addition to the 10,000 years of lifespan that he had as a reckless Devil Realm expert, he could live for at least 110,000 years. If he breaks through to the Void Fragmentation Realm, his lifespan will increase by another 90,000 years, reaching 200,000 years. If he becomes an immortal, the lifespan of a cultivator would be boundless and he would be immortal. These 200,000 years of lifespan could be said to be completely useless. Ning Fan thought to himself that he definitely did not need 200,000 years to become an immortal. The remaining lifespan could definitely be used to consume the pills of the Shedding Orchid sect and cultivate the magic techniques of the sect. Previously, he had his eyes on a magic technique of the Shedding Orchid sect. That magic technique was called the Mutual Death Technique. It was a suicidal magic technique that would reduce the lifespan of both the user and the enemy at the same time. Once this technique is used, it would open a barrier and trap both the user and the enemy within it. According to the difference in cultivation level between the user and the user would lose a different amount of lifespan at the same time. If their cultivation levels were equal, Ning Fan would lose 1,000 years of lifespan while the enemy would also lose 1,000 years of lifespan. If the enemy's cultivation level was higher than Ning Fan would lose 1,000 years of lifespan while the enemy would only lose 500 years or 300 years or even lower. This technique was easy to learn, but it was also extremely crazy. The reason why Ning Fan had his eyes on this technique was purely because he wanted to scare others with his inexhaustible lifespan. Just imagine, if Ning Fan were to risk his life against a void fragmentation realm old monster and lose his own lifespan, he would lose tens of thousands of years of lifespan while the void fragmentation realm old monster would also lose 8 to 10,000 years of lifespan. Wouldn't that scare them to death? Not everyone was like Ning Fan, who disliked having a long lifespan. Many void fragmentation realm old monsters had already lived for 70 to 80,000 years. They did not have much lifespan left. It was unknown if they could withstand Ning Fan's intimidation. If this technique is used against Void Pure Stage and Absolute Void Stage old monsters, it would be even more vicious. Be it Void Pure Stage or Absolute Void Stage experts, all of them only had 10,000 years of lifespan. Besides, most of the Void Pure Stage and Absolute Void Stage old monsters were old and did not have much lifespan left. For example, many Absolute Void Stage old monsters only had 1 to 2,000 years of lifespan left. Under such circumstances, Ning Fan could exhaust an Absolute Void Stage old monster's lifespan by throwing away a few thousand years of lifespan. This technique was really too vicious. For the first time, Ning Fan felt that having a long lifespan was really a good thing. Of course, this technique could not be used to exhaust the enemy's lifespan in an instant. It required time. If the enemy breaks the barrier and escapes during the process of exhausting their lifespan, the technique would fail. This technique could not attack multiple enemies at the same time. It was a weakness. As for immortals who had limitless lifespan, this technique was completely useless. It could only be used against cultivators at the first step of cultivation. This technique is somewhat useful to me. It might have a miraculous effect during critical moments. As for the void-consuming pill, I have to concoct one so that I can consume the void fragmentation realm Dao fruit smoothly. The side effect of consuming a void-consuming pill is enough to consume 1,000 years of lifespan. 1,000 years of lifespan is nothing to me. The only difficulty is the grade of the void-consuming pill. The void-consuming pill is a low-grade 6th revolution pill. If I want to concoct the void-consuming pill, it's best for me to try again after I attain the 6th revolution pill refinement realm. If I concoct it now, I can only concoct a peak grade 5th revolution pill and raise it to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm using the grade upgrading technique. Putting aside the success rate, the quality of the pill will certainly not be as good as after I improve my pill refinement technique. Ning Fan kept the ancient scriptures and seemed to have made up his mind. I've decided. I'll think about concocting the void-consuming pill after I enter the soul-washing pond. Ming Ke is currently purifying the spiritual herbs. She only needs 2 days to purify 42 tufts of spiritual herbs. In other words, she can purify 15 tufts of spiritual herbs in a day. It's enough for me. Before entering the soul-washing pond, I'll wake little you air up in one go. 1 day later, Ning Fan left the profound Yin world and entered the side hall to look for Ming Quebec. When he saw Ming Ke's actions, he did not know whether to laugh or cry. You little girl. Chapter 503. In just 1 day, Bright Sparrow had purified 29 stalks of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Clearly, she had given it her all. Apart from the 15 spirit herbs that were kept in a jade box and placed to the side, the other purifying spirit herbs were all gnawed on by the little girl, leaving quite a lot of teeth marks on them and stained with a lot of saliva. Every time this lass purified a stalk of spirit herb, she would take a bite or two to destroy the composition of the spirit herb. It was unknown if she was too greedy or if she thought that Ning Fan would not fight with her for the spiritual herbs that she had eaten before. Was it a child's intention to eat alone? Ning Fan did not know whether to laugh or cry as he kept away 15 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Then he left the rest of the spiritual herbs that were covered in his saliva to Ming Quebec. Take your time and eat. Don't worry, I won't fight with you. Really? You really won't snatch my medicine, baby? The little girl blinked her eyes in disbelief as she took a bite of the 30th spirit herb that she had just purified. Silly girl. Ning Fan shook his head helplessly. Su Yen felt that Ning Fan's current expression was a little funny. I'm going to do something. You guys rest here and don't run around. As soon as Ning Fan finished speaking, his body flashed and re-entered the profound Yin world. He had gathered 15 100,000-year-old spirit herbs, enough to harmonize the last 3 dark lightning bamboo leaves. Ning Fan stepped on the hazy sky and stepped into the thatched cottage. His body was as light as a breeze and he did not make any sound to avoid disturbing Luo Yu's sleep. Xiao Chun drove his state and formed a small pitch-black cauldron on the table. It was only about a foot tall, a miniature version of the Dan fragmentation cauldron. After taking out tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs, Ning Fan then activated a wisp of devil flame to burn them repeatedly. 2 hours later, the 15 spirit herbs had been preliminarily refined into drops of viscous green liquid, but they had not been extracted yet. This medicinal liquid was not used for alchemy, it was only used to balance the dark thunder bamboo leaves, so there was no need to extract it many times. Ning Fan took out an agate jade bowl that had blood marks on it. He poured drops of viscous medicinal liquid into the jade bowl. Then he placed 3 pieces of dark lightning bamboo leaves into the bowl. Under the stimulation of his magic power, the 3 dark lightning bamboo leaves quickly merged into the medicinal liquid. The originally green medicinal liquid immediately turned as black as ink. Finally, I'm going to wake you up. Ning Fan looked at the beauty in white who was sleeping peacefully. Complicated emotions flashed through his heart. This woman had helped him countless times, and this time, it was time for him to help her. When they first met, Ning Fan was just a vein opening cultivator. Today, however, Ning Fan was a reckless devil king. After a moment of silence, he suddenly picked up the agate jade bowl and drank all of the medicinal liquid in one gulp. The medicinal liquid was extremely bitter, but Ning Fan naturally did not care about it. Thus, he did not swallow it. He approached the bed and gently bent down. He sealed Luo Yu's ice-cold lips with his mouth and transferred all the medicine into Luo Yu's body. The dark lightning bamboo leaf was a divine medicine that could heal the Yuan Xin. As the medicinal liquid entered her body, Luo Yu's soul shone with faint black lightning. Her aura suddenly skyrocketed. Ning Fan immediately straightened his body and wiped his mouth. There was still the unique fragrance of Luo Yu on his lips. The strange feeling in his heart intensified. Ning Fan threw all of his emotions to the back of his mind. He just stared at Luo Yu and observed her rising aura force. Luo Yu's aura force continued to rise, slowly advancing towards the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Her refined and beautiful body gently floated up from the bed and floated in the air. Her aura spread out from her body, and her white dress fluttered in the wind. She was still asleep, but her eyebrows were tightly knitted together. Her forehead was covered in sweat, as if she was suffering from great pain. The pain was still increasing, and Luo Yu's breathing became ragged. She suddenly opened her eyes, which were filled with unconcealable pain. He was only a short moment away from breaking through to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. However, this short moment felt as long as 10,000 years. Is he the one who woke me up? Is Ning Fan? Luo Yu stared at the white-robed young man who was just inches away from her. Even though she had known Ning Fan for many years, this was her first time coming into contact with him in person. When she thought about how it was Ning Fan who spared no effort in searching for medicine to wake her up when she was in a deep slumber, her expression flashed with a hint of complicated emotions. Subsequently, his expression became firm as if he was no longer afraid of pain. At this moment, she only wanted to hide her weakness from him. That was all. Silly brother, thank you for waking me up. However, I'm at a crucial moment of breaking through to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. I won't be greeting you anymore. You should stay 1,000,000 miles away from the grass hut so that you won't be affected by my aura. Astral wind art. Her tone carried 30% charm and 70% indolence. Her eyes were as deep as the ocean, making it hard for others to see through her true feelings. Her hair was messy, but it did not lose her elegance. She waved her hand and a vast void fragmentation realm aura force turned into astral wind, sweeping Ning Fan out of the grass hut and sending him flying a million li away. Ning Fan's heart skipped a beat. The power of the astral wind was close to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. He could not resist it at all and was sent flying a million li away. As soon as the astral wind dissipated and Ning Fan regained his balance, the grass hut that was a million li away suddenly emitted waves of magic power that swept across the heavens. At this moment, Luo Yu broke through to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. The aura force that spread out shattered all the hollow space within a million li. The grass hut was directly reduced to ashes. If Luo Yu didn't let go of Ning Fan in time, he would certainly be severely injured by that aura force. The sea of magic power gradually calmed down. A million li away, a solemn-looking lady in snow-white robes walked towards Ning Fan with light steps with a lazy smile on her face. With just a single step, she crossed the distance of 1 million li. With just a single finger, she dispersed all the residual waves of magic power and healed the hollow space within a million li. The feeling of regaining my strength is really good. My good little brother, are you hurt? The lady's expression seemed to be concerned, but she also asked casually. I'm not hurt. It's just a pity about that grass hut. Ning Fan replied with a smile. Then he raised his hand and took out a tuft of 50,000 years old spiritual herb. As soon as he activated his magic power, the branches and leaves of the spiritual herb grew rapidly. Countless blades of grass grew out from it and thick vines grew from its roots. When Ning Fan pointed his finger, countless blades of grass and leaves flew away. Plants and trees piled up and formed a grass hut in front of him. But now, you have a grass hut again. You still have a place to rest. Ning Fan secretly studied Luo Yu. The current Luo Yu was enchanting and beautiful like a poppy. Every frown and smile of hers could make any man fall for her. However, Ning Fan knew that when Luo Yu was unconscious, she should be pure and weak. The personality that Luo Yu displayed right now was not her true nature. She is wary of me. No, she is wary of everything in the world. That's why she is hiding her true nature. Ning Fan pondered. While Ning Fan was studying Luo Yu, she was also studying him carefully. In the past, Luo Yu had always used the yin-yang locket as a medium to communicate with Ning Fan telepathically. This time, when they met face to face, it could really be considered as the first time they met. She still remembered the scene when she first met Ning Fan. At that time, Ning Fan was just a mortal. With the help of the yin-yang locket, he broke through to the first level of the vein-opening realm and stepped into the world of cultivation. At that time, Ning Fan was so weak. Without her help, he could not protect anything, be it his younger brother or the old devil. Today, however, Ning Fan seemed to have become more mature and stronger after several tens of years of traveling and 500 years of cultivation. The aura force that he revealed when he transformed the grass hut with his finger had clearly reached the void inquiry stage. However, what puzzled Luo Yu was that Ning Fan was not a true void inquiry stage cultivator. Ordinary void fragmentation realm experts would not be able to tell that. However, in Luo Yu's eyes, Ning Fan's aura was so strange. This is an ancient devil. Luo Yu finally realized why Ning Fan's aura force was so strange. It was because the reason why Ning Fan possessed a void inquiry stage aura force was not because of his magic power but his essence chi. She still remembered that the last time she fell unconscious while trying to save Ning Fan. At that time, Ning Fan had definitely not cultivated to the ancient devil realm yet. During the few months that she was in a coma, Ning Fan had become an ancient devil expert in a single leap. Luo Yu was not clear about the exact cultivation realm of an ancient devil. However, she was well aware of how strong an ancient devil was. Ning Fan's aura force was comparable to that of a void inquiry stage expert. However, ordinary void inquiry stage experts would definitely not be a match for Ning Fan. Ning Fan, who cultivated the ancient devil Dao, now definitely had unrivaled combat power among void inquiry stage experts. They have become stronger. She looked at Ning Fan and suddenly felt a trace of loneliness. She did not know why. That feeling of loneliness disappeared in a flash. She regained her lazy expression and teased him. "My good little brother. You've spent such precious spiritual herbs to wake me up. How do you want me to repay you? Do you need me to have a dual cultivation session with you?" She had always been teasing him, just like how she teased the young Ning Fan in the past. That young man who bore a deep grudge had already grown into a handsome and cold young man. Dual cultivation? You are just a primordial spirit and not a body of flesh and blood. If you have dual cultivation with me, it will hurt the foundation of your primordial spirit. Ning Fan shook his head. "Pooh, I was just saying it casually. You really dare to have any ideas about me? How audacious of you!" Luo Yu pouted in a flirtatious manner. Compared to Su Yen, she was a little less seductive but more charming. Her rebuke was naturally not because she was really angry. Luo Yu silently recited the words mid-reckless devil realm in her mind. It was unknown whether she was interested in the ancient devil realm or she simply wanted to remember some information related to Ning Fan. Ning Fan continued to tease Luo Yu for a while, but they were all meaningless topics. No matter how he teased her, the current Luo Yu in front of him still had a lazy look on her face. There was no sign of the weakness she had when she was sleeping. Ning Fan felt a little disappointed. It seemed like this Luo Yu would not open her heart to him. At first, he still wanted to ask her about her troubles. He wanted to know what kind of pain and helplessness she had in her past and why she chose to cultivate the Yin transformation technique. However, he could not ask any of his questions now. The yin-yang locket could not see through Luo Yu's thoughts. Moreover, even if he asked these questions, Luo Yu, who had concealed her true feelings, would not tell him the answer either. Ning Fan understood that it was not because Luo Yu did not trust him. If a person has suffered great pain, they would often hide their true feelings and weakness and pretend to be strong. It was not strange at all. "Now that you've awakened, are you going to protect me in the future so that I can roam the rain world unhindered?" Ning Fan no longer tried to close the distance between them and casually made a joke. It seemed to be a good idea to maintain the current distance between them. Giggle. "If you help me recover my primordial spirit cultivation base, I will naturally protect you. If that Moksha sovereign or the Rain sovereign dares to provoke you, I will help you eliminate all of them. What do you think?" Luo Yu said it casually, but she also sounded extremely serious. Only she knew her true feelings. It was just like that day when she saw Great Emperor Mo Luo trying to enslave Ning Fan and risked everything to save him. At that time, she was definitely not just concerned about the relationship of benefits between them. However, she would never admit that kind of feeling. At least before she takes her revenge, she would not allow herself to be weak or happy. She just needed to wear a mask and continue to be lonely. "If you're willing to help me, it will be the best." Ning Fan felt relieved. If he has Luo Yu's help, his chances of taking revenge would increase by a lot and he would not need to worry about protecting himself. With a second heavenly layer void fragmentation realm expert as his bodyguard, his life would not be in danger no matter what he does in the Rain world unless he goes all out against the Rain Palace. "Little Yu Air. No, Luo Yu, I'm going to break through to the 6th Revolution Medicine Soul in a few days. I need to make some preparations. You've also just recovered your second heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivation base. It's better for you to rest early. Here are some miscellaneous items. Your thatched cottage has been destroyed. You can use them for now." Ning Fan passed a storage pouch to Luo Yu and stopped calling her Little Yu Air. Luo Yu's body tensed, but she recovered after a while. She still wore a smile on her face. 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Realm? My good little brother, you're really amazing. If you become a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master, you will almost be on an equal footing with Void Fragmentation Realm experts. Ning Fan nodded. He was speechless for a moment and did not know what to say. After chatting for a while, he left the profound Yin world to give Luo Yu some space to rest. She had already woken up, but the distance between them seemed to have grown even further. It was a little annoying for him. Chapter 504. Ever since Luo Yu woke up, Ning Fan faintly felt that there was a wall between them. It was a wall that Luo Yu had set up to prevent anyone from entering her heart. Luo Yu still used the yin-yang locket to converse with Ning Fan. However, the frequency of their conversation was not much higher than before. The topics they talked about, other than business, were some useless things. "Oh, that Su Yan looks quite good. Good little brother, you should quickly pluck her. Your cultivation will definitely progress. Hehe, that little pill devil girl also looks quite tender. If a flower blooms and can be plucked, why hasn't my good brother made his move yet? Good brother, even though you're already at the middle reckless devil realm, it's still not enough for you to completely control the yin-yang locket. When will you be able to save me from the locked world? I have been waiting for you to break through to the void fragmentation realm for a very long time. Don't be lazy and quickly pluck the human cauldrons to improve your cultivation base. Big sister can help you catch a human cauldron." In the primordial heaven palace, Ning Fan was sitting cross-legged in his bedroom. He was adjusting his breath and magic power, preparing himself to enter the soul-washing pond. Luo Yu, on the other hand, was smiling like a pear blossom in the rain. She was spouting a bunch of nonsense. She was not really urging Ning Fan to snatch the cauldron from him. She was just trying to make conversation to tease him. "If you are lonely, I don't mind dual cultivating with your primordial spirit." Ning Fan frowned and said. Although he had awakened Luo Yu, their safety had increased dramatically. However, the awakened Luo Yu was sometimes very annoying. Wearing a mask annoyed him. Big sister is so scared. If you have a way to pluck Big sister, do it. Big sister is really lonely in this gloomy world. Moreover, if you pluck this sister, you can also gather the second spirit of the steel of sun and moon. The second spirit? Ning Fan's expression turned serious. He knew that Luo Yu was going to talk to him about serious matters. Yes, second spirit. Do you remember Bei Yao's purple desire's spirit body? After you had sex with her, one of the moon-shaped indentations on the steel of sun and moon was filled. Bei Yao's purple desire spirit body is one of the 7 spirit bodies. Big sister's weak water spirit body is also one of the 7 spirit bodies. The Bei Yao that Luo Yu was referring to was naturally Yuan Yao. Even though she knew Yuan Yao's real name and identity, she chose not to tell him about it. She was still waiting to see how Ning Fan would face Yuan Yao and her daughter. As for the moon-shaped notch that Luo Yu mentioned, Ning Fan already knew about it. Not only did the steel of sun and moon have 7 moon-shaped indentations, but there were also 7 sun-shaped indentations. One of the moon-shaped grooves had turned purple after he had dual cultivated with Yuan Yao. Weak water spirit body. If I dual cultivate with you, I'm sure I can complete the second spirit of the steel of sun and moon. But what I don't know is the benefit of completing the second spirit. Not only were there moon-shaped grooves on the steel of sun and moon, but there were also sun-shaped grooves. You just said that the moon-shaped notch is used to collect the nether souls of women with 7 spirit bodies. So what's the use of the sun-shaped notch? Silly brother, the moon-shaped notch collects female yin spirits, and the sun-shaped notch naturally collects male yang spirits, right? Little brother knows how to pluck women, but I wonder if you dare to pluck men. Ning Fan choked on her words. According to Luo Yu, in order to gather yang spirits to fill up the sun-shaped notch, she actually needed to pluck a man. This was simply too hardcore. Even though Ning Fan had thrown away his moral integrity ever since he stepped onto the Devil Dao, he would never do it. But for a straight man like him to have a homosexual relationship with another man, he would rather die than do it. Seeing Ning Fan's expression as if he had just swallowed a fly, Luo Yu burst into laughter. Silly brother, you just believe whatever I say. You're so silly that you're adorably adorable. I'm just joking with you. The method to collect male yang spirits doesn't need to pluck them. It's very simple. All you need to do is to find male cultivators with 7 spirit bodies, kill them and extract their yang spirits. This joke isn't funny at all. Ning Fan's face darkened. Luo Yu automatically ignored Ning Fan's expression and continued. The steel of sun and moon is one of the supreme treasures of Great Emperor Ancient Chaos. In ancient times, Countless true immortals have been suppressed by it. Even many immortal emperors have been killed by it. If you can activate the steel to the state of the second spirit, you just need to activate the inscriptions on the steel to deal with Moksha Sovereign and you can instantly kill him. Do you want to know the method to increase the power of the steel of sun and moon? Yes. Ning Fan said bluntly. The steel of sun and moon had two abilities. One of them was to take away the cultivation methods and magic techniques of the women who have plucked them. The other was to turn it into a great killing weapon to kill the enemy's cultivation base. The steel of sun and moon could deliver a void fragmentation realm attack, but it could only deliver one strike. Every time it delivers an attack, it would need to collect flames and fill the steel's soul. It was really troublesome. This drawback should be eliminated. After all, Great Emperor Ancient Chaos used the steel of sun and moon to conquer the world. There were tens of thousands of enemies. It was impossible for the steel to be extinguished with just one strike. Your steel of sun and moon has collected Bei Yao's Yin spirit. However, only half of the first spirit has been filled. You still need to obtain a Yang spirit of 7 spirit bodies to complement each other. By then, as long as you have enough magic power, you can deliver a void fragmentation realm attack at any time. You no longer need to collect flames to replenish the steel's soul. If you collect the second Yin spirit and the second Yang spirit, the power of the steel of sun and moon will increase from a void fragmentation realm attack to a life immortal realm attack. By then, killing Moksha Sovereign will be as easy as flipping your hand. The steel of sun and moon has a spirit replenishing rule. After collecting the first Yin spirit, you must collect the first Yang spirit to complement each other. Only then can you proceed to collect the second spirit. I have the weak water spirit body. If I dual cultivate with you, you can easily collect the second Yin spirit. As long as the steel of sun and moon completes the second Yin spirit, even if the Yang spirit is not full, its power can still barely reach the level of a life immortal realm attack. Therefore, before dual cultivating with me, your top priority now is to find the possessor of the 7 Yang physique, kill him and extract his Yang spirit. As soon as Luo Yu finished speaking, she told Ning Fan some information about the 7 Yang physique. All the possessors of the 7 Yang physique were men who were full of energy and had nowhere to vent it. Normally, such men would embark on the path of dual cultivation and become a devil lord who plucked flowers. Besides, the Yang essence of the possessor of the 7 Yang physique was too strong. They were different from ordinary devil lords who plucked flowers. Very few women who had been plucked by the possessor of the 7 Yang physique could survive. As long as Ning Fan paid attention to the devil lords who plucked flowers around him, he would definitely be able to find the possessor of the 7 Yang physique. According to Luo Yu, the existence of the possessor of the 7 Yang physique was purely a scourge of the world. Killing the possessor of the 7 Yang physique would be enforcing justice on behalf of heaven. Ning Fan was speechless. He himself was a devil lord who practiced dual cultivation and a scourge of the world, alright? He had plucked countless women. If he wants to kill the possessor of the 7 Yang physique, he would not use the excuse of enforcing justice on behalf of heaven. He did not need a dignified reason to kill someone and seize their Yang spirit. The cultivators who stepped into the cultivation world were like chess pieces on a chessboard. The moment they are placed on the chessboard, they should be prepared to die. The era had already decayed. In the current cultivation world, only the strong survived and the weak perished. I will pay attention to the possessor of the 7 Yang physique. 3 days later, little Ming Kei broke through to the void refinement realm as expected and her cultivation base advanced to the void glimpse stage. She soared into the sky. While gnawing on spiritual herbs, she released her ice sense to freeze the tribulation fire of the void glimpse stage heavenly tribulation. At this moment, all the cultivators of the Pill Island were shocked. They were actually fortunate enough to witness the birth of a void refinement realm expert. This was just too unbelievable. 5 days later, the seal on the 6th level of the soul washing pond was lifted. Ning Fan held the storage pouch that venerated Pill gave him in his hand. Under the gaze of tens of thousands of cultivators, he stood at the bank of the soul washing pond. Inside the storage pouch were some pills and spiritual equipment that venerated Pill gave him. The pills were used to protect his medicine soul, while the spiritual equipment was mostly defensive equipment. It seemed like venerated Pill was worried that Ning Fan would not be able to endure the soul-bathing light of the 6th level. Don't worry. During the time you are in the soul-washing pond, I will take good care of little K. Su Yen promised. Brother Biscuit, if you become a 6th revolution biscuit refinement master, you must make more pill biscuits for me. The little pill devil looked forward to it. Master, don't worry. I will do my best to protect the 2 mistresses of the Pill Island. Yonggu also came to show off his cleverness. Don't worry. Ning Fan nodded at the 2 ladies and cupped his fists at Yonggu and the other cultivators of the Pill Island. Then he turned into a ray of light and shot into the 10,000 zhang deep pond. The soul-washing pond was divided into 7 levels. Ning Fan stood still on the 1st level. Divine light surrounded him. That divine light was the soul-bathing light. It had the miraculous effect of tempering one's medicine soul. While bathing in the divine light, Ning Fan felt a slight pain in his medicine soul. Along with this pain, his medicine soul was purifying its impurities bit by bit and improving its quality. Is this the soul-bathing light? Ning Fan's eyes were filled with admiration. The cultivators of Pill Island were born with the ability to use the soul-bathing light to refine their medicine souls. Most of the other alchemy sects had secret arts similar to the soul-cleansing pond that could increase the power of their medicine souls. Other people had their own shortcuts to improve their pill refinement realm, while Ning Fan had his own methods to fight for opportunities. His medicine soul was close to breaking through to the 6th revolution, but he did not have absolute confidence in breaking through to the 6th revolution. However, the look in his eyes was still determined. I want to break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm. His tone was firm. This was not a question of whether or not he could do it, but a kind of determination. It's great that little brother is determined, but I have to remind you that it's really hard to break through to rank 6. The difficulty of this was definitely much higher than breaking through to the void refinement realm. Moreover, if he failed, his medicine soul would be injured by the backlash. There's a saying in the pill refinement world, the 6th revolution is like the heavens and the 7th revolution is like an immortal. Little brother, please count how many void refinement realm cultivators there are in Rain World and how many 6th revolution pill masters there are. Luo Yu's voice resounded. No one knew if she was trying to discourage him or if she was trying to motivate him. Was she concerned about him? Is that so? Ning Fan's eyes darkened and he dived into the 2nd level. The soul-bathing light in the 2nd level was obviously a few times stronger than the 1st level. The pain of tempering his medicine soul gradually increased as more impurities were removed from his medicine soul. This bit of pain was naturally insignificant to Ning Fan. After crossing the 3rd level, he directly dived into the 4th level and arrived at the 5th level. The intensity of the soul-bathing light in the 5th level was the limit that a peak 5th revolution pill master could adapt to. Standing on the 5th level, Ning Fan felt as if his medicine soul was being ground by a stone mill. The pain made him frown slightly. It's so painful. Aren't you going to scream? Luo, you seem to be a little surprised at Ning Fan's endurance. Is this your first day knowing me? Other than showing how weak I am by screaming, can it make the pain disappear? Ning Fan opened the storage pouch that venerated Pill gave him and took out a forehead protector with golden engravings and a belt made of crow feathers. The forehead protector was a low-grade profound heaven spiritual equipment. Its grade was equivalent to a low-grade mortal void magic treasure. Its function was to protect one's head. The belt was also a mid-grade profound heaven spiritual equipment. Its function was to protect one's dantian. With Ning Fan's Fu Li demon blood, it was a piece of cake for him to assimilate these 2 pieces of spiritual equipment into his body. After assimilating the 2 pieces of spiritual equipment, the pain in his medicine soul immediately lessened. However, the effect of tempering his medicine soul did not decrease. Ning Fan then took out a bottle of pills. There were 12 pills in total. This pill was called Soul Protecting Pill. Its function was to nourish one's medicine soul. After consuming a soul-protecting pill, His medicine soul felt cool and the pain completely disappeared. After making a lot of preparations, Ning Fan regained his composure and dived into the 6th level. The soul-bathing light in the 6th level was extremely powerful. Only a true low-grade 6th revolution pill master could withstand it. Even though Ning Fan had yet to officially break through to the 6th revolution, the power of his medicine soul was already on par with a low-grade 6th revolution pill master. With the protection of the spiritual equipment and pills, he could barely withstand the soul-bathing light in the 6th level. As the divine light continued to temper his medicine soul, Ning Fan sat there for half a month. After half a month of tempering, all the green color on his medicine soul had faded. It had almost turned into a pure black color. The power of his medicine soul had completely reached the standard of the 6th revolution. However, it still could not completely break through to the 6th revolution. The bottleneck of the 6th revolution was like an insurmountable sky. It was cold and merciless, blocking all 5th revolution pill masters from entering it. It's indeed true that the 6th revolution is like heaven. Even with the help of the soul-bathing light in the 6th level, it's still not enough to help me break through to the 6th revolution of my medicine soul. Ning Fan stood up and remained silent for a while. Luo Yu's concerned voice resounded in his ears. Are you going to give up? How is that possible? Is this your first day knowing me? Ning Fan smiled and continued. I want to enter the 7th level. You're really a silly little brother. Luo Yu seemed to have already guessed Ning Fan's intention. The 7th level was located below the 6th level. It had yet to be unsealed. Even though the grand sealing formation was extraordinary, it was not difficult for Ning Fan to break it. Even so, Ning Fan could feel that the soul-bathing light in the 7th level was at least a few times stronger than the one in the 6th level. If he enters the 7th level, he would either have to break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm or suffer severe injuries to his medicine soul. Even a low-grade 6th revolution pill master like Venerated Pill would not dare to enter the 7th level for too long. The 6th revolution is like heaven. If I don't have some determination, how can I break through the 6th revolution heaven? Wind Mist Finger. With a single finger, he activated the golden-purple wind mist and forcefully tore open the seal of the 7th level. He took a step into the 7th level. In an instant, the powerful soul-bathing light directly rushed towards Ning Fan. It was an attack that was comparable to an unrivaled Void Inquiry stage attack. In just an instant, all the spiritual equipment that Ning Fan had refined in his body shattered. He felt a sharp pain in his chest and blood flowed out from his mouth. His eyes were filled with shock. The soul-bathing light directly attacked his spiritual equipment and medicine soul. Even his primordial lightning armor could not defend against it. With a wave of his hand, Ning Fan summoned the black stars to protect his body. His injuries were instantly healed. Even though the soul-bathing light had injured him again in an instant, the black stars would always heal him immediately. He took out the soul-protecting pill and consumed the entire bottle of pills, slightly blocking the soul-bathing light of the 7th level. His eyes were filled with determination. The peak 5th revolution pill refinement realm was definitely not his limit. He wanted to break through to the 6th revolution, 7th revolution and reach the peak of pill refinement realm. How could he back off now? My good little brother, quickly look. What's that? Luo Yu was surprised all of a sudden. Following her guidance, Ning Fan carefully spread his spirit sense in the 7th level. No one knew how many years had it been since anyone entered the 7th level. It had been sealed for a long time. At least, Venerated Pill would not dare to enter casually. At the bottom of the pond, there was a pale green lotus in the thick mud. The medicinal age of the lotus was still young. It was only a few tens of years old. However, as soon as Ning Fan saw the lotus, his eyes widened in surprise. He stared at it and said with joy, "This is the soul-washing lotus." The soul-washing lotus only grew in places where the soul-bathing light was the densest. It had the magical effect of cleansing and strengthening one's soul. As for the medicinal age of the lotus, it did not have many requirements. The medicinal effects of 100 years soul-washing lotus and a 10,000 years soul-washing lotus were almost the same. Venerated Pill had not entered the soul-washing pond for many years. Thus, he did not know that there was a soul-washing lotus in this place. If Ning Fan did not have the courage to enter the 7th level, he naturally would not know that there was a soul-washing lotus here. He still had a Lianqing pill with him. Originally, he was going to use it to break through the bottleneck of the 6th revolution. Now that he had the soul-washing lotus, his chances of breaking through the shackles of the 6th revolution were much higher. 6th revolution. Ning Fan's eyes turned serious. He plucked the lotus. The 6th revolution pill refinement realm was not far away. Ning Fan did not know that the moment he broke through the 7th level, the entire pill island was in an uproar. Venerated Pill was holding a 7-colored token in his hand. The 7th color of the token had already lit up. It was the token of the formation of the soul-washing pond. When the 7th color lit up, it meant that the seal of the 7th level had been broken. Venerated Ming has actually entered the 7th level of the soul-washing pond. This is just crazy. The 7th level was a place that even Venerated Pill would not dare to enter recklessly. Unless one was a true mid-6th revolution pill refinement master, ordinary people would not dare to endure the soul-bathing light of that level. I want to go to the soul-washing pond immediately. Once Venerated Ming is severely injured by the soul-bathing light of the 7th level, only I can help him suppress the injury of his medicine soul. Venerated Pill sighed. He did not think that Ning Fan had the ability to enter the 7th level. Naturally, he did not know that Ning Fan had used the Black Star technique to resist the soul-bathing light of the 7th level. When he arrived at the soul-washing pond with severe injuries, he could not help but be stunned. Ning Fan was not sent out of the 7th level by the soul-bathing light as he had imagined. Venerated Ming has actually endured the soul-bathing light of the 7th level? Venerated Pill was extremely shocked. They are tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.